This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Bob Melvin's leaving the Padres to become the manager of the NL West rival Giants. For the second straight night, Major League Baseball will have a Game 7 with a trip to the World Series on the line. Phillies host the Diamondbacks in the winner-take-all matchup in the National League Championship Series, 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio. The Nuggets' quest to repeat as champs tips off tonight against the Lakers on opening night in the NBA. Caesar Sportsbook gives Denver the third best odds to win a second straight title. ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler.
Denver's got the best team in the NBA, and their starting five has all that chemistry and the cohesion. That's very important, the continuity. They didn't improve themselves. They actually lost some key pieces. Bruce Brown, critical. Denver is the most sure thing going into the season, but the Lakers, Phoenix, Golden State, all three of those teams are just lurking right there beneath the surface.
Tim Legler on Unsportsmanlike. Nuggets-Lakers 7 Eastern ESPN Radio game also marks the start of the 20th NBA season for LeBron James. NHL rescinded its colored tape ban and will let players use stick tape to represent social causes during games and practices.
Are you overwhelmed by insurance? Make it easy. Get all your insurance in one place with Geico. Plus, get 24/7 claim support and on-the-go policy access with the award-winning Geico mobile app. See how easy insurance can be and go to geico.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Matty Hudak in 15 minutes. I tasked her with the Saints film review to find the good things. What was good in the Jacksonville game? We'll do that in 15 minutes. Josh Smith, Cali High, heading to the World Series. He'll be with us 1 hour from right now. Shea Dixon talking some recruiting next hour. Sean Salsbury in hour 3. We got a ton to do. Lock loaded. Glad you're here. Let's kick it off the way we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
So I'm going to leave here this evening after the show, and I'm going to drive home. And I'm going to get on I-10, and I'm going to speed. I am probably going to average somewhere around 70, 75 miles an hour in a posted 65. I will break the law. Just what it is. We all do it every single day. So I say that for context because we speed. Largely, that's okay. It's an arbitrary law. There are moral laws and there are arbitrary laws. A moral law is you can't kill. You're negatively affecting someone else. Stop at the red light. That's just to maintain order in our society. It's an arbitrary law. So the fact that Chris Olave was speeding, I'm okay with it. In a vacuum, it's not a huge deal. Yes, going 70 miles an hour in a 35, not a great thing to do. It's reckless. It's dangerous. You could have hurt someone. Thankfully, he didn't. I saw Chris Olave's brother tweeted that he was just leaving the CVS and headed back to his house. Here was the tweet from Josh Olave, who tweeted, here it is. Bro was on his way back to the crib from CVS. Ain't nothing serious. But as the first person that commented, going 70-35 is serious. And that's true. It is. You're going 70-35. It's reckless. It's dangerous. It's all that stuff. It's why he was arrested. And why if I get pulled over tonight going 75 and a 65, I'm not going to get arrested, but I might get a ticket. So in a vacuum, not trying to overreact to this, still a dumb knucklehead thing to do. And yes, it was dangerous. But we don't live in a vacuum. And the timing of this is awful. The Saints are 3-4, and morale is at probably the lowest point it's been, certainly since Dennis Allen's been the head coach, and maybe the lowest point since the back-to-back-to-back 7-9 seasons. People wondering, is it time to move on from Drew Brees, Sean Payton? Are they done? Morale's low. I and others are questioning if the players even respect Dennis Allen. I made the parallel to a substitute teacher where nobody really fears any repercussions, which is why you do whatever you want. And then the last time we saw Chris Olave, he quit on a route. Derek Carr yelled at him on the field, and then Michael Thomas went to Twitter to co-sign a reporter, Nick Underhill, for essentially calling out Derek Carr for throwing to a player that wasn't on the route. It's messy. And then this. So the timing is awful, which is why this becomes a bigger deal than it probably should be or would be anywhere else. For a parallel, look at the University of Georgia. They had a true tragedy last year, or earlier this year, I should say, after their national championship celebration. A player was speeding, lost control of the vehicle, and people died. A true tragedy. Since then, many people within the Georgia program have subsequently been arrested for reckless driving and speeding, and it's become a story now every time someone at Georgia is speeding because there's just a hyper-focus on it now. So there's a hyper-focus on the New Orleans Saints and the culture around the organization and all of that stuff because of what's happening. So not that it's ever a good time for a player to get arrested, especially a star player like Chris Olave, but for that to happen amid all of this noise right now is doubly awful. Now, you may ask, would there be any discipline from the NFL? Probably not. Some recent cases of players getting arrested for speeding and other violations, moving and non-moving violations. Hollywood Brown was arrested for going 126 miles an hour. This was in 2022. The video of that arrest was made public this past August. In July, Jordan Addison, the rookie with the Vikings, was going 140 miles an hour in a 55. He, too, was arrested and not suspended by the NFL. Falcons fullback Keith Smith was arrested for driving with a suspended license, not punished by the NFL. Back in August, Cowboys defensive end Sam Williams was pulled over for speeding. He was also arrested for possession of a controlled substance and weapons charges. As of now, has not been suspended by the NFL. We'll see what may happen therein. My point is, it's unlikely there's anything that comes of this from the NFL. Maybe the Saints make him run some gassers. I don't know. It's just that at a time where morale is bad around this organization, where it feels leaderless and there's a giant lack of accountability, for one of your best players to be going 70 and a 35, swerving lanes in and out of traffic and to be arrested, it ain't a great time for it, Chris. Not that there's ever a good time for it, but the timing of this is doubly awful. So the Saints had the day off Monday. They did have to go in to watch film, but no practice. Tuesday, they were off. Wednesday, I'm sure we'll get some comment from Dennis Allen and the Saints about the situation with Chris Olave. So the Saints are aware of the situation. No comment given. We'll wait another day. Of course, the Saints are in Indianapolis on Sunday with an opportunity to break this losing streak. Okay. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy. Love our friends over at Bud Light, Mockler Beverage. So many great brands that they represent. Of course, I was telling you earlier, man, if you are whatever charitable organization that touches you and your family and those close to you, chances are our friends at Mockler and at Bud Light have done great things with that organization. This Saturday is the Alzheimer's Walk to Remember 5K. It's sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Our friends over at Mockler, of course, they distribute Ultra as well, all the Anheuser-Busch products. Walk to Remember is the largest event in the greater Baton Rouge area to raise awareness regarding Alzheimer's disease and funds to support the programs and services Alzheimer's Services provides to local families affected by Alzheimer's or other memory-related impairments. Again, that's this Saturday. Alzheimer's, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Okay, it's after further review. The Alzheimer's Walk to Remember, I should say, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. But it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this this Tuesday edition of AFR Powered by Sunshine. Matty Hudak's going to join us here in a couple of minutes. I tasked her with finding the positives from the Saints-Jacksonville game, so we'll delve into that. Brian Kelly was a guest on the Feinbaum show on Monday. There was no media availability for Brian Kelly on Monday. He was a guest on the Feinbaum show. Kelly will meet with reporters later this afternoon after LSU's practice. So late in the show today or tomorrow, we'll have plenty about what Brian Kelly had to say. But one of the things that Kelly talked about, can you play 4, please, was sort of looking ahead to Bama here with some extra time to get ready.
We know what's in front of us. This is an outstanding football team. Coach Saban has certainly got this team playing very, very well, and it'll be a great football game in Tuscaloosa.
Well, what's in front of you, as Brian Kelly said, is the opportunity to win the SEC West. You don't control your own destiny. You need help. You need Ole Miss to lose a game. But I think we all agree that's likely to happen somewhere along the way. A&M or Ole Miss, still has to play A&M, and they still have to play at Georgia. Still have the Egg Bowl. So there are pitfalls out there for Ole Miss. Will probably lose a game, which means if you're LSU, you win out. It's looking good. So Tigers and Tide a week from Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back, and we'll chat with our friend Matty Hudak. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local, shop local, and yes, our friends over at Clegg's have an amazing selection still of all of your fall decor. We're a week away from Halloween. Halloween's 1 week from today, but even after Halloween, we lead up to Thanksgiving. So all of the fall decor, the hay bales, the pumpkins, the squash, the gourds, all that fall decor, they've got it at Clegg's Nursery. So get on by and see them. Also, of course, if you are a deer hunter, you get those plots out, the Mobucks, the Buckbusters, the Deer Corn, the Rice Bran. They've got it at all the Clegg's Nursery locations. I always encourage you to buy local and to shop local and to do business with a great local company that's been in business and been supporting the greater Baton Rouge community for more than 60 years. That's Clegg's Nursery. Remember, they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you. Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
I know most people are ready to put the Saints-Jaguars game to bed and move on to whatever is next. I thought that maybe this week with Maddy, we could take a little bit of a different tact. Everyone right now is pointing out all of the things that are rightfully very wrong with this team. I think we lost her. And so I asked Matty Hudak, who does a great job, film study, scouting, to go back and comb through the film and find the good things from this Saints-Jacksonville game. So she's gone through the Scouting Academy, does an awesome job breaking down the film and all that. So we'll get to Matty here in a quick second. We'll reconnect with her. It's actually a good opportunity. While I have it, to remind you about our friends over at Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. The same great company, same patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. New name that can also do demo and build back as licensed general contractors. So if you've got mold or think you might, call our friends at Pure Restoration. Maybe it's a large-scale building where you're looking for a sanitization product, like a school. There are a lot of schools that hire Pure Restoration. They'll come in, spray their sanitization product, and it's good for an entire year. Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. And in the event that you do need demo and build back, they can handle all of it at Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Same company, same people, same product, same everything. An expanded menu of services and a new name, Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. Or just email me or text me and go, hey, Scone, what's the mold thing you always talk about? I'll send you the link. All right, Matty Hudak joins us. Matty, how are you?
I'm good. I'm having audio and video issues over here, so seems like I'm struggling alongside the Saints.
Well, that's actually very apropos, considering the conversation we're about to have. But we've connected now, and I'm excited about maybe having a little more of a positive convo. Because, Matty, as I've been known to be, I am a super positive, very optimistic, sky is blue, sun is shining type guy. That's how I'm known in these parts. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But let's talk about what went well for the Saints on Thursday night. Let's start offensively. We've highlighted all of the bad that Derek Carr did. Was there anything good?
I think if you look at the second half and you look at those final couple of touchdown drives, and you could definitely see, I think, a lot of the potential that we saw over training camp, seeing a little more of again, those routes that we were used to seeing, getting Alvin Kamara really involved in space. And early at that, it stuck out to me that they're really trying to work him in as a receiver early on in the game. And for what it's worth, I felt like the offensive line actually held up pretty well from start to finish in both the run and the pass. I mean, there was a lot of opportunities for Derek Carr to make plays. They weren't always necessarily capitalized on, be it the route, the play call, what have you, but it felt like less of an issue of the pocket just collapsing over and over again. And for all of the turnover that they kind of did on that line, and as much of a concern as it is about the development of rookie prospects on that line, it was at least good to see that and see them involve the tight ends and the 2-point conversion to Alvin Kamara towards the end of the game. It's one of those things you'd like to see them use more in the red zone more often, but again, nice to see that those plays do indeed exist.
To your point, only one sack and 2 TFLs for Jacksonville the entire game. So the line, in some respects, did hold up. Anybody in particular on the line grade particularly high?
The plays that I saw anything, it was honestly Andres Pete made a few key blocks. And I just felt like I keep going back to this the offensive line working as a whole rather than the sum of its parts. And obviously everyone has to be performing at a certain level in order for that to work. But they did seem to move very fluidly. And again, both in pass protection and against the run. And, I looked at the rush yards for them to have more yards in the second half than Jacksonville did on the ground and in the first half at that, on top of adding 195 passing yards in the second half. It's a lot of offense, just unfortunately a little bit too little too late. And this would be a good game if it was week 4 per se, and you're still kind of getting those kinks figured out, but it's still just not enough promise, but definitely more than we've seen in these last couple games.
Maddy, you referenced some of the promise and hope and potential that we saw in the preseason with this offense. I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find if there are things offensively that suggest this thing is salvageable, that they can get it on track. I mean, you've got a $150 million albatross hanging around your neck in Derek Carr. So I've been asked, like, hey, do you think they're going to play Jameis? Well, no, they're not going to play Jameis because they've got so much invested in Derek Carr. They've got to make this work. So what did you see, if you can recall, in camp, right? What were the things that we were hoped for in camp that have sort of lost their way that maybe you think are salvageable right now, offensively?
And again, this would really be contingent on how they open up this next game, because I think the psychology of the game is slipping away from them. But I just swagger, for lack of a better term. It felt like Derek Carr just had a little bit more of a presence to him, just having more of a connection with Olave and Michael Thomas and them consistently getting those balls in camp. And even though it's training camp, you're still going up against a decent secondary in the Saints. And I say decent. I thought that they performed pretty well in this game. That was one of my other bright spots, was the play by the defensive backs. And so to see, Michael Thomas beat Marshawn Lattimore one-on-one in coverage, it gets you excited thinking that they'll kind of be able to do that as the season goes on. But it just doesn't feel, again, like the game plan is necessarily there. Like when Sean Payton was here, you knew that every week, even if it didn't work, at least there was an intention behind the game plan that was very specifically tailored to the opponent. That's something that just seems to be really lacking to me, is I don't feel like there's any noticeable, they did use more motion. I will say that. It didn't necessarily get them anywhere half the time, but at least now you could say that they have that tendency to be able to read the defense and have that tell from those motion plays. But it just, again, there is, to me, a disconnect between things that should be a little easier than this and then still seeing kind of those longer routes on those third and short plays. But at least, again, in this game, you saw a short route by Chris Olave, for example. So it's little things that are getting worked in, but just felt like a different identity in training camp. And the idea that Alvin Kamara would be suspended, but you had a really strong running back committee, or so you thought. And now it's kind of back to running Alvin Kamara up between the sticks quite a bit. But at least, again, to get him out in space, you just want to see them rely on guys like Michael Thomas and Chris Olave more. And to your point about Derek Carr, between the three of them, I don't know why, but it should work. And so you have a little hope there, and saw them perform at the end of the game, but miscommunication can unfortunately kill a lot of things. And I just think it's all wrapped up in that.
Yeah. You mentioned the Kamara suspension. We saw Jamal Williams, of course, 5 rushes, just 14 yards. Not a great day for the guy that was one of your high-priced free agents. Matty Hudak is with us. So you mentioned the secondary, another bright spot. Who or what stood out in the secondary for the Saints on Thursday night?
Initially, Marcus May quite a bit. I was paying attention to the coverage, and they were using a lot of cover 1 and switching in between, cover 4, cover 6, all in the first couple of series. And I mean, you have to really have a secondary that is all communicating on all cylinders in order to just kind of switch that frequently. But they were running a lot of balanced formations where you had to have someone in that kind of slot position on both sides. And I saw Marcus May going down there more often than not, and his reaction time as a safety just really paid off there. There was a stretch where Ugo Amadi was in. I can't remember if there was an injury to Alontae Taylor or anything at this point, because that game feels like so long ago by now. But it felt like the slot role wasn't as much of a sore point, and you had defensive pass interference call on Adebo. But I thought that his downhill tackling, his coverage, and just their ability to read and react in this game just seemed a lot quicker than usual. And that, to me, is where you see the rollover effect of Marcus May being out last year, him being suspended earlier this season. None of these guys really getting that much time together. And I felt like Tyrann Mathieu has really stepped up this season as a leader back there. And I think you really saw that all come together in that backfield. And especially against, I know Trevor Lawrence was injured, but he's still a really good quarterback. And to hold them to 71 passing yards in the second half, that's putting their offense in a position to win the football game.
Man, the Saints forced 2 turnovers, but get just 3 points off those 2 turnovers. You're right. There's a lot of reasons we've all tried to forget that game on Thursday, but sort of looking forward at what might have gone well. I could bring up Blake Grupe. I don't know that people have much of a great thought on him right now. And to see Will Lutz have the day he did in Denver is like a double swift kick in the lower region. Anything there that on any of the special teams units that maybe stood out that could be a positive for this team?
Well, like you said, the fumble recovery that Lonnie Johnson got that gave him that opportunity, because they had just capitalized, or they hadn't capitalized on the forced fumble on the Christian Kirk play right before that. The offense went 3 and out, and it's still, to get 2 turnovers and only get 3 points out of it. But that's oftentimes, again, if you had a team that was executing just a little better on offense, those kind of turnovers on special teams can oftentimes make the difference. Again, the surprise onside kick that Sean Payton ran. Tulane just had to deal with this surprise onside kick this last weekend, and the other team ended up with a 14-21 point run as a result. So it's all 3 phases of the game trying to kind of work there and give them that opportunity. But I think it's a case of the yips. Unless there's an injury that we're unaware of, I think that's kind of the psychology of the kicker position, and it's just a much higher spotlight on it when you got rid of Will Lutz and went with the undrafted rookie. But the kicker has just kind of been an issue for the Saints the last couple of seasons, because Will Lutz was unhealthy, and then that year was it was the Blake Rojas year where they had like 4 different kickers and lost 2 games due to missed field goals. But it doesn't feel the same way, at least now, where Blake Grupe has missed some key field goals, but at the end of the day, if it has to come down to 3 points here and there, then the offense is just simply not executing. And again, when you have 2 turnovers and you're only able to get 3 points off of that, it's hard to, again, put that much blame on the kicker situation. But it definitely deserves, again, that level of spotlight because of the decision to go with these undrafted guys. And Lou Hedley's been a little here and there. It just hasn't necessarily worked out the way they wanted to, but it's definitely not the reason that the Saints are losing these games.
Matty, if there's one thing that's maybe the most reason for optimism, as bad as it's been, they're 1 game out of first place. That's the benefit of playing in a terrible division, which is what the Saints are right now. We'll keep paying attention. Matty Hudak on Twitter at MattyHudak_94. Y'all give her a follow. Matty, we appreciate it. Thanks so much as always for the time.
Thank you. Hopefully a better time next week, but we'll see.
Please, we all need some good vibes. That is Matty Hudak. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. Not just windows, doors, siding, but also shutters as well. If you're going to get custom-made windows, why not custom shutters? Measure twice to install once, custom-made to fit the exact specification of your home. And yes, we always tell you about the great products that they offer, but more than anything, it's the experience, quality, and service at Relief Windows, where they will never take $1 from you. Relief Windows will never take $1 until they're done with the work and you're thrilled. That's the promise they make at Relief Windows. Windows, door, siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll go around the SEC coming up. Got some LSU football bowl projections after the Tigers have gone on a little bit of a run here and heading into their open date. It's one of those products of losing early is if you do catch your stride, other teams are going to fall back to the pack as you continue to elevate. So That's kind of where LSU finds itself, but the biggest opportunity, of course, is a week from Saturday in Tuscaloosa. So still, what are sort of a lot of the national people who put out these bowl projections thinking about LSU and their opportunity to win in Bama, or how many they could win in their Final Four? So 6-2 Tigers are on the road in Tuscaloosa. We'll get some bowl projections here in 15 minutes. And then Josh Smith in 30 minutes from right now, another former LSU Tiger in the World Series, as the Rangers upend the Astros in Game 7 last night in Houston. So the Rangers are off to the World Series. The second half of the series will be decided tonight with Philly and Arizona playing a Game 7. I saw this earlier today. Hard to believe the Philadelphia Phillies have never played a Game 7 ever in their organization's history. This is the first ever Game 7 in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies organization. So some history made tonight there in Philly with the Phillies and the D-backs. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll go around the SEC. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. I'm talking to business owners here. If you're a business owner and staffing and hiring has been an issue for you, maybe finding qualified people, hiring the wrong people, dealing with all of the other things that go along with the headaches that go along with hiring. If you're tired of experimenting, you need Glow Resources. Stop going the cheapest route. Hire Glow Resources. Stop wasting money on training and effort. Get it right the first time. Long term, it'll be a cost-saving solution. But the other thing about Glow Resources is they guarantee that you, the business owner, are going to get that quality employee. They have a guarantee for 60 days that the employee is the right fit. If it doesn't work, they'll find you a new employee at no cost and or give you a prorated refund. It's Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Sports marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck.
Like John Deere tractors, they'd be happy ever after, strong, true, and tough, and made of steel. They pull through in time.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Which one is this? What we got here, Muse?
This is Like a John Deere by Sawyer Brown.
Okay. See, that's a little more peppy.
I saw you not bobbing your head over
Whatever
there a
that
little bit.
miserable thing was you played last week, that sleepy, awful, miserable thing. I mean, that's the kind of thing that feels like a root canal. It's like listening to a root canal, whatever it was you played last week. What was that?
That was
the one that
that was John Deere Tractor by the Judds.
Yeah, God bless. I love a Deere. You know that.
Yeah,
I love our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. But that song, ooh, no, sir. No, sirree, Bob. A lot of people are getting those gators right now. It's hunting season. You're going to go out and stand. You're going to shoot that buck. You need to get that gator so you can haul it out of the woods. What are you going to use? You're going to use a deer. You better believe it. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, 17 locations. Bunkie and below. Check them on out there at sunequip.com. Sunequip.com. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. Everybody's talking about this Michigan scandal story. You know, the guys buying tickets, going to different games, watching opponents in video and their signals and all. I told you yesterday, I don't care, whatever. I mean, what I mean, is that really going to help? Yeah, maybe. I don't care. Maybe it's the old, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I mean, people try to steal signs in every sport all the time. You could say, well, if you're videoing it, it's different because there's technology. I don't care, whatever. Deion Sanders was asked about it because he's the guy that everybody wants to hear from with all things related to college football today. By the way, Coach Prime's got himself a beard now. And he ain't going any just for men either. I mean, he is rocking the gray on that beard.
Looks good.
It's not bad. Looks old. Hey, you just can't go Lovie Smith. You can't go full
like
Santa
long,
Claus.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Lovie Smith went like full Santa Claus beard. Like, let's tidy that thing up a little bit if we could. Anyway, all right, here's Coach Prime on Michigan cheating.
But what are your thoughts?
Wait, hang on. Oh, wait. No, that was good. That was the question.
Everyone's trying to get an edge. I mean, everyone's trying to get whatever edge they can. You could have someone's whole game plan. They could mail it to you. You still got to stop it. So in football, it's not as pronounced as baseball. If I know a curveball is coming, I got you. You know, with football, I don't give a darn if you know a sweep is coming. You still got to stop it. Physically, it's a physical game. You got to stop it. So that's a little tough. I don't buy into a lot of that stuff that someone's stealing this, stealing that. I don't buy into a lot of that stuff. You still got to play the game. Back in our glory days with San Francisco as well as the Cowboys, you know darn well Emmitt Smith is getting the ball. You know darn well Mike Irvin is running the comeback. You know darn well Jay Novacek is going to do what he's going to do, and you couldn't stop it.
All right. So, Coach Prime said, got to try to stop it. I saw a Coach Prime and I align. Go video my signs. I don't care. Good luck. All right, it's after further review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Ken Seals will continue to start at quarterback for Vandy. Play Ole Miss coming out of the open week. Vandy on a 6-game losing streak. They're 2-6 overall, 0-4 in the SEC. They play Vandy Saturday night there at Vaught Hemingway. Seals took over as the starter in the Missouri game after A.J. Swan threw a couple of pick sixes against Kentucky. Seals been on the team since 2020, but both Seals and Swan still have 2 years of eligibility remaining. Be interesting to see what happens under center for the Commodores after this year.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Oh, Shane Beamer. Not just a broken foot because he kicked something after the loss to Florida. Injury list is long there in Columbia. Wide receiver Antoine Wells hadn't played since the Georgia game. He is out this week against Texas A&M. Amarian Brown also doubtful, according to Beamer. And then a handful of players banged up after the Missouri game listed as questionable. Mario Anderson, Trevon Baugh, Stone Blanton, Kaysen Henry, Vershawn Lee, and Xavier Legette, all questionable this week against the Aggies.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
And Caleb Harris, 3-star safety for the class of 2024, committed to Auburn. Ole Miss and Auburn. Sorry. Auburn. Hit Auburn, Muse. Sorry, Paulie.
The Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, this is Auburn. Sorry, Auburn. I wrote Ole Miss on the sheet. It's not Ole Miss, it's Auburn. They're a completely different school. Completely different program altogether. Top 70, Caleb Harris, 3-star safety, top 75 safety in the country. Picked Auburn over a long list that included 7 other SEC schools. That brings Auburn's class back to 17 commits after a couple of decommits last week, Jalewis Solomon and Jaden Lewis. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, ULL Raging Cajuns, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco, the minor league hockey team. Do they start tomorrow? The Zydeco?
26th, so Thursday.
Thursday, okay. Hockey is back!
How about that?
Did you ever go to Kingfish games?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Later Kingfish games, not like, I guess I wouldn't say like in their heyday.
I'm trying to think here, like, I want to say, I remember like 94, 95. Look up the Kingfish and see when they came to Baton Rouge. By the way, I learned the reason that they weren't able to keep the Kingfish name. A lot of people are upset about that. And I know there's plenty of you who listen or watch and you're outside of Baton Rouge. You don't give a flip about any of this. But so Baton Rouge had a minor league hockey team in the 90s, maybe into the early 2000s. How long was it?
96 to 2003.
96. Okay, so 96 to 03. So 8 seasons. So 96. You don't remember the Kingfish.
You're right. I wouldn't remember going to something when I was 9 or 10 years old.
You were born in 93?
3. So
you're 3 years old when the Kingfish came along.
Yeah, and then I was 8 and 9 and 10 when they were. I said I remembered late because I sat there and said later Kingfish games, probably not their heyday.
Hey,
exact words.
There's no reason to be upset about this. If that's how you behave on your date, Muse, there won't be a second.
Won't be a second date.
I tell you, we gotta calm down. You can't get triggered.
We'll include that in the questionnaire. Don't bring up the Kingfish.
Oh my God, Muse, simmer down there, friend. Okay, so anyway, people, when the Zydeco came along, a lot of people wanted them to keep the name Kingfish. Apparently, I learned this from some of the people at the Zydeco. The guy who owned the Kingfish still has the rights to the name and wouldn't relinquish it. That old son of a bugger. How about that?
What is he doing with the name?
Who knows? I don't know. Nothing.
They should sue him.
For what?
The name. The rights to the name.
Okay. On what grounds?
They want it.
Makes perfect sense.
I mean, he's not using it.
You're on.
He's not using it. That's the
but
grounds.
he might. He owns the IP, so that's his. He owns the IP. Anyway, LSU women's basketball #1 in the preseason AP top 25. So the defending Natty champs will start the season where they finished last, #1 in the country. And we also got the preseason coaches poll today. LSU #1 in the country and preseason All-SEC. Angel Reese, first team preseason and preseason SEC Player of the Year. Haley Van Lith, who's yet to play minute #1 at LSU, first team preseason All-SEC. Flau'jae, second team, and Anissa Morrow, also second team. So LSU brought in the #1 transfer class in the country, one of the top signing classes in the country, and you return Angel Reese and Flau'jae and so many great role players from last year's national championship team, and you're going to have great expectations. So Kim Mulkey and the LSU women's basketball team, they tip off here in a little more than a week. They'll tip off the season out in Vegas. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do some bowl projections. After the Tigers have ripped off a nice little winning streak here, sitting at 6-2, going into their open date. What are the media honchos thinking about LSU's postseason destination? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. It's 85 degrees in Baton Rouge right now, which isn't exactly cool. But last week we had a cool snap, and you know the cold weather is coming. So this is the time. Right now, this is the time to call River City's 1 Hour Air for your preseason heater safety check. You need to do this every year. I'm telling you, seasonal maintenance will extend the life of your unit. It'll make it more efficient when you're running it. And most importantly, with your heater, it's going to make it safer. It's dormant for months. It collects dust. It can be hazardous. Before you crank up your heater, make sure River City's 1 Hour Air comes out and gives you that preseason heater safety check. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off the price. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Muse.
What?
Tractor songs.
Oh, but this Ice Cube, man.
I get it. I love it. I get it.
This is a classic.
I get it. I love it. It's Sunshine Day. It's Tractor Day.
It is.
Manny Men. How would you say this? Menezes. Menezes? Menezes? Menezes?
Menezes.
Manny Menezes. Said, gotta play International Harvester by Craig Morgan. Good tractor song. Muse, get rid of Ice Cube. Get rid of it. Give me Craig Morgan. I don't know who that is, but give me Craig Morgan.
Craig Morgan's, he's a guy. He's good.
You find me some Craig Morgan right now, and I'm going to mention this breaking news, which is going down right now. Boy, old BK got him another. Threw that line in the water, reeled him in another fish. Got a big one. Bernard Causey out of NOLA, out of Kennedy down there, has committed to LSU. So second player this week, he's a cornerback for 2024. Second player this week to flip from a Mississippi school to LSU. Causey had been committed to Ole Miss. This was expected, by the way. Causey had been committed to Ole Miss, and LSU flipped him. Shea Dixon's with us. Sometimes timing works out, right? Or maybe we kind of knew that this was going to happen, and so we kind of planned to have Shea on. But so Shea's with us in 25 minutes. One of the things that we've talked about is LSU targeting Louisiana prospects. And this may sound obvious, but I want to remind you, and again, this is not a knock. It's not a knock. It's not a knock. It's just a matter of fact and approach. A year ago, when Brian Polian was your recruiting coordinator, you targeted a 3-star cornerback out of Las Vegas in Jeremiah Hughes. Maybe Jeremiah Hughes becomes an amazing player. I hope he does. But think about the resources it takes to fly to Las Vegas and go recruit that kid in Vegas. When you've got a barrel full of cornerbacks just in New Orleans. Cast the net in the state of Louisiana and look at the amount of talent you have. That's already now Wallace Foster and Causey, cornerbacks just out of New Orleans. I mean, they're less than an hour from your campus, who would give an arm to play for LSU. So, man, just keep on bringing in these talented guys. Somebody's going to stick. You know what I mean? So, Tigers got themselves another one. This one here in Bernard Causey, who's committed to LSU. Another cornerback commit. Causey is nationally ranked 1,003, the 103rd best cornerback. He's out of, as we mentioned, John F. Kennedy in New Orleans. 6 foot, 170. Again, I am wholly disinterested in the national ranking. What I love, look, if you can go to L.A. and get Elias Ricks, who's the number 1 cornerback in the country, yes, I am all on board with that. You do that. But if you can cast a net in the city of New Orleans and pull in prospects that you think are super talented guys that want to be at LSU, that have offers from LSU, Illinois, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Nebraska, Missouri, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Colorado, a bunch of Power 5 schools, yep, I'm on board with that as well. So Shea Dixon will be with us. We'll get to that coming up in hour number 2. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You know where to find them, southpointvw.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They're the best over at South Point Volkswagen. So if you're thinking about buying a new vehicle, the thing that I would just so highly recommend is just put Volkswagen on your list. Just put Volkswagen on your list and go test drive one today. You can always go to the website, see all their inventory, new, certified, pre-owned, in Baton Rouge and online at South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, Muse, what you got for you? Got the, what's the guy's name again?
The guy who texted or
Craig
Morgan.
Craig Morgan.
Morgan.
Here we go. Hit me with some, I like that. Oh, Muse, see, that's what I'm talking about.
I told you, Craig Morgan's good.
I mean, this isn't, wait, what am I doing? Hold on. Wait, what am I doing?
You didn't even have it in the, okay, I think I did go all the way to the hall. Matt didn't have his hat, for what it's worth, his John Deere hat. Gotta have it on. Love it. I've told you it's a great hat. Good hat. Look, I know hats.
Well, if I just posed for that camera. And
it was a close-up.
All right. Now I'm ready, Muse. You ready to put me on a deer?
I am.
Ready to go harvest some crop?
Yes.
Till the soil. Get me a buck. That's what I'm doing. I'm ready for it.
If you build it, they will come.
God, I'm so fired up. I love my people at Sunshine, man. They're awesome. Shout out to Rooney Email. Where you at, Rooney? Shout out. Shout out, my guy. All right, let's look at some bowl projections. You keep that going.
All right.
You keep that going, Muse. This is our new bowl music.
Bowl music.
Bowl
All right.
bed music. Oh, you know the other thing we have to get to today is our Derek Scone versus Ocho update later today. I forgot to put it on the rundown. We got to remind me. We got to get to that. How about that old stinking Michael Bonagura? What's the name of the
Kyle Bonagura.
He's got LSU playing Wisconsin in the ReliQuest Bowl. ReliQuest is the old Outback?
Yes, the old Outback Bowl.
Gag me with a sweaty tube sock. Mark Slayball's got LSU playing Notre Dame in the ReliQuest Bowl. How about BK result?
It's intriguing. That's intriguing.
Look, if you're trying to create an intriguing matchup, somebody's going to get interest. Now, look, playing that game down in Tampa that nobody wants to go to at 11 a.m., that stinks. I don't even know if the game's still at 11 a.m.
It is.
It's still 11 a.m.
It is still at 11 a.m.
Dag nabbit. Crank that up there, mute. Oh, we only got like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Brad Crawford's got LSU playing Notre Dame in the ReliQuest.
Yeah.
A lot of ReliQuest projections.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. With more than 30 offices across 11 different states, Michelli can service your company. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. I also want to remind you, Michelli is hiring and is always looking for good people. So if you go to the website, Michelli.com, that's Michelli, Michelli.com, hit the careers tab there at the top, and you'll see all of the different career opportunities, including there's a veterans careers tab as well, where you can learn more about the DoD Skill Bridge program, where they're a partner to help the men and women of our armed forces who, if you're active duty or already back into civilian lifestyle, you can go apply to work at Michelli. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A suspected serial killer was cleared to get out of prison by a federal appeals court this week. Samuel Galbraith raped and murdered Karen Sue Eads Hill in 1988. Despite a 71-year sentence in the 90s, he could be released any day now. But a WBRZ investigative unit report helped block his release in 2017 after exposing what was about to happen. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there in the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, They've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Few things better than a Game 7 in sports, and for the second time in as many nights, Major League Baseball has such a winner-take-all matchup. NLCS, Diamondbacks, Phillies, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, Brandon Pfaadt and Rangers Suarez. Bob Melvin's leaving the Padres to become manager of the NL West rival Giants. NBA opening night, Nuggets begin their title defense against the Lakers, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Denver, third best odds to repeat as champs per Caesars. LA, sixth best odds to win a title. Lots to like about the Lakers, but it will be tough to get out of the West, notes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They've got size, they've got quickness, they can play fast, they can play big, they can play small, they can play quick, they can play slow. And then I look at the depth at the top end in the West is so hard that even though the Lakers are better, they could have a much better season this year and get knocked out before the conference finals, not because they screwed up, but because the competition level's up.
Brian Windhorst on Greeny. NFL Dolphins put starting left guard Isaiah Wynn on injured reserve with a quad injury suffered on Sunday.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Talk some recruiting with Shea Dixon here in about 15 minutes from right now. One Game 7 in the books. Another tonight. The ALCS is finito. The Texas Rangers did the deed in Houston last night. That means our buddy Josh Smith, Cali High, is headed to the Fall Classic. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes now. How are you, dude?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Seems like a pretty obvious question, but how you doing?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Last couple of days are pretty wild, but a lot of fun.
How, let's go to the end and then we'll go to the beginning. So, final out recorded, dog pile, and then like beer and champagne in the locker room with a whole lot of Creed as well. What was that like?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I'm happy we were up by 7 runs because it still kind of felt like we were only up by 1 run. So just kind of seeing that last out, Simeon making the play, and then everybody going on the field, kind of partying. Honestly, just having a good time, celebrating, just kind of enjoying where we're at.
Does the locker room celebration? We've had this conversation a lot over the years, right? So when you clinch, you celebrate in the locker room. You win the wild card, celebrate in the locker room. You win the divisional series, the championship series, and the world. Like, there's so many locker room celebrations. Does it ever get like, I don't know, does it ever get old?
No, I mean, especially for me, this is my first year, like, really getting to experience it. So I remember my first one, like, everybody was like, make sure you wear sleeves. Like, it's going to be freezing. I was like, whatever. It's like I'm putting stuff on. It's like damn, this burns a little bit. Like champagne gets in your eyes, burns, and then by week 4 or 5, you just kind of get used to it and just get tolerant with the champagne burn. But it's awesome.
So good, man. Josh Smith is with us. Did look? I mean, obviously, in winning, you all beat the Astros. Of course, former Tiger Alex Bregman's with the Astros. I know you know. Did you all get to talk after the game?
No, not much. I'm sure he probably wouldn't have wanted to talk at that moment. But he had a great series. I've always loved the way he plays, so it's fun to get to watch him do his thing out there.
Man, at what point? I mean, this team has been on a pretty incredible run. At what point, or was there a point where you looked at this team and thought, yeah, like we really have what it takes to go on a serious run here?
Yeah, so I mean, there were points in the year where it was like we were rolling, when we were all healthy. We had, I think we had 5 or 6 All-Stars, like, where there was a point where I was like, wow, we really got a shot. And then we went through some injuries. We struggled a little bit. We go to Seattle with a chance to clinch the division, and we didn't get that done. So it's like we didn't head into the playoffs with any momentum. So it's like, all right, we get here. We face Tampa, one of the better teams in the league. Honestly, we faced the 3 teams we've had to go through have been all tough opponents. And then, I don't know, just getting hot at the right time. But anything can happen. But I guess really didn't understand we had a chance until we got there, and then anything can happen. Is
there anything from this ALCS in particular? And I understand, man, like you still got bigger fish to fry, right? I mean, there's a World Series that's coming up that you're preparing for, and not trying to look ahead too far, but is there anything from this championship series in particular, like when you close your eyes or someone asks you 100 years from now, hey, man, what do you remember most about that 2023 ALCS? Like, what's the first thing that's going to come to your mind?
Corey Seager hitting the home run he hit in Game 7 yesterday, because like I don't know if you ever watch our games, but he's the most, like, doesn't show emotion. Doesn't matter what happens, he's emotionless, not in a bad way, just that's how he goes about his business.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, off the field, he's an amazing guy, like great guy in the locker room. But for him to hit the home run in the first inning, and then the emotion he showed was insane. Somebody said it literally felt like he hit like a 10-run home run in the first inning, and then I think we kind of all everybody got behind that and kind of followed up for him. But he's a leader for us, and that was really cool to see him show emotion like that.
That's a great answer. Usually the thing that comes like to mind first is immediate, like that tells you what it means. That was a great way for the Rangers to get it started there in the first with Seager with 1 out in the first to hit that bomb. We were kind of keeping an eye on it. So hey man, what's fill us in, like what's next for I mean, obviously you're waiting on the opponent, but what's the next few days like for you and for the club?
Yeah, so I'd imagine we're off today. We'll probably have like a kind of a club workout tomorrow, and the next day probably have some live at bats, like some pitchers throwing the hitters, and kind of just hanging out, waiting to see who we play. I guess that game will happen tonight, but it's kind of nice actually. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out at home and kind of enjoying some downtime until we gotta get ready to go back again.
All right, man. Before you go, were you at any point, and are you now a Creed fan?
Oh yeah, I've always liked Creed. I've heard the comparisons, and people say I look like Scott Stapp, so I got a little costume coming up for us. So
wait! Crank that up, Muse. Hang on, let me hear it. Crank it, Muse. Crank it. I mean, that right there. That's going to be the thing that's lasting, the lasting memory of this season. Wait, so are you old enough to remember Creed like in their heyday, like late 90s, early 2000s?
I like all type of music, so I've always been a Creed fan, but I don't really remember them.
No, that's fine.
Like I love the music.
Somewhere along the way, Josh, like it became uncool to like Creed, and look, there's some early Creed. If you go listen to the My Own Prison album. There are just bangers on that album. I love that album. Do you all just listen? No, go ahead. Sorry.
Them and Nickelback, I feel like get a tough rep. I don't know why.
Yes. You know what? And God bless Nickelback. They sold out. Yes, they did. They even wrote a song called Rockstar. It's about selling out. I don't care. God bless. But their early stuff is fantastic. Anyway, did you all just listen to Higher? Like, or did y'all have the whole thing on loop? What were y'all listening to?
We listened to like 3 or 4 songs. It's like Higher, With Arms Wide Open.
Okay.
Just a couple of those from those times.
Okay, so you did go to like the early 2000s like pop rock Creed route. That's okay. But if you're interested, go snag yourself the album My Own Prison. Do yourself a favor there.
I'll check it out.
Decidedly different vibe. You know, a little dark, a little heavier, but maybe not great for a post-game celebration like Higher would be. But wait, real quick before you go, fill us in on the costume. Like, is this going to be like a Halloween thing, or is this like
not a Halloween thing? Just if you see the video of Higher, just him wearing that might be like a little game day fit or something.
Like the yellow hooded jacket.
No, like the white beater. And
okay. Yeah. I'm so glad that you gave us that spoiler. That's going to be so good. Hey, man, congratulations. We always appreciate you for jumping aboard with us, man. Good luck in the World Series. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, Matt. Thanks for having me.
All right, be well. That is Josh Smith, former LSU Tiger, headed to the World Series with the Rangers. We'll have him back if they win the World Series or after the season either way, because there's a couple other things I want to talk about. Remember, Josh Smith was drafted by the Yankees and then got traded to the Rangers, and that was a tough thing when he got traded. Remember, we also talked to Josh during COVID, and if you remember his story, Josh and several teammates were like, do you remember this? They were like down in Florida, and they couldn't go anywhere, so they had to just make up workouts, like they were pushing cars up and down the streets. I got asked a couple of weeks ago, like, you know, what did you do during, like, you remember what kind of shows you did during COVID? And it took me a minute, but then I remembered we just had a whole bunch of athletes on because wasn't nobody doing nothing. They were thrilled to, like, how much time do you need? You want me to do an hour? You want me to do the whole show? Like, they were looking forward to doing anything. But anyway, so Josh came on and did that. So his whole professional journey has been really interesting and different. And he's married now, and look, he's an LSU guy. He's a Baton Rouge kid. He's an LSU guy. He was great at LSU and is, now in the show and heading to a World Series, which is awesome. Okay, Paulie, we got to do a side-by-side of Josh Smith and Scott Stapp. Okay? We can work on that. Maybe get Cassie on it if you're not down. But either way, I want to get a little side-by-side so we can have that ready to go. That's really good, man. Which Josh with the long hair is what
that has to do it. Because when he said that, I'm like, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, check this out. I tweeted that he was going to be on, and I used this GIF of Josh Smith. Hang on. And he's kind of like throwing his hair back in the GIF, but, I mean, it actually really plays. Look, you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean,
it's good hair, too, first of all. But
I mean, that's pretty close, man. That's really good. A game day fit.
Scott Stapp inspired game day fit.
Smith is going to show up to the park as Scott Stapp.
You know what we need to do?
So good. What do we need to do?
We need to get
Scott, I love an idea.
We need to get Scott Stapp to write a Rangers song like he did for the Marlins.
You know, that is something that's a little, I was just going to sort of dismiss it here. Because for those that don't know, years ago, Scott Stapp did a Marlins fight song.
And it was awful.
Come on, Marlins, make us proud.
Yeah.
Whatever, how it went like that. So the lyrics are hilariously bad.
Yeah. We need one for the Rangers now, though.
How did it go? Let's play ball, it's game day. You're going to pull it up now.
Yeah, I am.
Strikeouts, base hits, double plays. Take the field. Hear the roar of the crowd. Come on, Marlins, make us proud.
Marlins will soar.
Marlins will soar. That's it. Okay. All right. There it is. Wait, crank it.
I'm trying to move ahead in it.
No, that's fine.
Why is it not?
It starts quickly. Yeah. Crank it. Marlins.
Like, what are we doing?
Marlins. This is a real thing.
Yeah?
This is a real thing.
Pretty awesome highlight video, too.
What was this, 2010?
I'd have to...
Is it on there?
Because this was posted a year ago, so
okay.
Yeah, that's not.
All right. It's after further review. We'll talk some recruiting with Shea Dixon next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers Nicholson. Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Another Game 7 tonight. You need a place to watch the NLCS Game 7? Get on by either Pluckers location. Remember, every Tuesday, kids eat free. Either location. Adults, parents, buy your entree, and your kids eat for free every Tuesday at Pluckers. Also Tuesday at Pluckers on Nicholson, our buddy Hunt Palmer has sports trivia starting at 8:30. So get on by right there on Nicholson, just south of campus. Watch Game 7 tonight. I'm sure we have a college football game tonight. I haven't looked at the Maction schedule, but I'm sure we got it. And you can watch college football, Game 7. You got NBA tipping off tonight as well. Hockey, what more could you possibly want? You can watch it all at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Here at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get 1,000 special edition bonus cash, $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, LSU lands another cornerback commit. Tigers on a little bit of a heater right now on the recruiting trail, and for the second time this week, they've nabbed a commitment that was committed to a school in the state of Mississippi. Shea Dixon joins us now, of course, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. as LSU just about a half an hour ago flipped Bernard Causey. Shea's with us now. Shea, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Matt?
Been doing really well. Let's start with talking about Causey and how LSU pulled off this flip.
Yeah, he was decommitted from Ole Miss last night and committed to LSU today, so he wasted a little time. But coming out of Kennedy, JFK in New Orleans, they're having a really good season, and he's been great. And this is a guy who a year ago got injured. His recruitment didn't quite take off like it probably would have had he not been injured, but turned around and had a really strong summer. He was at LSU summer camp and was one of the better performers there. We had him on our On3 list of top 15 performers at the elite camp. He tested really well. And for LSU, it was just about waiting to see how he looked as a senior coming off that injury. And they didn't wait 2 or 3 games into Kennedy's season to offer him a scholarship. And from there, it was only a matter of time. He was committed to Ole Miss, had been since the summer. Pete Golding, a Louisiana native, was his lead recruiter as the DC. But Frank Wilson and the staff buckled in and said, hey, look, this is a guy from Louisiana in New Orleans that we feel like can play here and looks the part. And made the offer, and about a month and a half later, they get him flipped or decommitted from Ole Miss. And like I said, didn't even take 24 hours for him to turn around and announce that he is indeed staying home and playing for LSU. So that is 2 corner commits in 48 hours, and that's just what they need when it comes to rebuilding that room.
Shea, we'll go to PJ Woodland here in a second, but I want to stay on Causey for one more question. I think that you and I have talked about this, but are we seeing a sort of a shift in the approach that this LSU staff has taken in recruiting kids from Louisiana? And that, I mean, this is a 3-star guy, but he's a kid right down the road.
I won't be surprised if he's not a 3-star either when it's all said and done, if he doesn't move up to 4-star range. But yes, I think we are seeing a shift. And with Frank Wilson being on staff, I think that's a big reason for it. He's a guy who understands the value of Louisiana, and people can call it star chasing or however you want to put it, but LSU doesn't have to go all over the country to recruit kids. And look, we'll see what the final rankings look like for each player whenever the dust settles on senior seasons and those come out after the season ends. Like I said, wouldn't be surprised at all if Causey ends up being a 4-star. He's played very well, but they understand that what Brian Kelly said, I'm taking this LSU job because 3 different coaches, Matt, have won national titles here in the span of 20 years. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's got such a fertile recruiting base, and we've got it on our website on On3. It's a really cool, and you can get lost in it almost like a Wikipedia, just keep clicking, but it'll show you NFL draft by state and how guys stand out as 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, all that. And the 2 states who per capita turn out the most blue chip percentage players each year to college that then go on to play in the NFL is Louisiana 1 and then Mississippi 2. So these 2 corners coming from Louisiana and South Mississippi makes a lot of sense, and especially at the athlete position, at wide receiver, corner. You don't have to fly all over the country to get those guys. There's a reason that right now you look at Ole Miss, their best receiver, Trey Harris. He was Malik Davis' quarterback in high school. Like Tulane has a number of standouts on their team that are going to get drafted that, playing in Louisiana. Tyjae Spears is now the backup to Derrick Henry playing in Louisiana, going to Tulane. I mean, this state offers so much, and a staff that values that is a staff that's going to be in good shape. You get your evals right, you get the right guys in Louisiana, and you're good. And I'll give you the stat. Louisiana averages between 10 and 12 Louisiana natives a year getting drafted that come out of each cycle. So if you're taking 15, 16 guys from Louisiana and you're evaling correctly, you're going to have a pretty good hit rate on guys that both play for you and then get a chance to play on Sundays.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon, On3 the Bengal Tiger. Let's talk about PJ Woodland, who is the other cornerback commit LSU got this week. Now, he's not a Louisiana kid. He's a Mississippi kid who was committed to Mississippi State. Decommitted, is now in the boat there at LSU. What can you tell us about PJ Woodland?
A fellow Hattiesburg native. Like
there you go.
At least for high school.
Shout out.
But he went to Oak Grove. I was a Hattiesburg guy. Well, you get all the Calico stuff.
Go ahead. Yell out Hattiesburg there, Shea.
No, I'm not doing that. And he's from Oak Grove, though. I went to Hattiesburg High. He's a very good player. Oak Grove's a great program there in Hattiesburg in the South of Mississippi. They turn out a lot of college players. And he was a guy also that was at that elite camp this summer. Worked out with a lot of the guys that are on this cornerback board that ended up being commitments and ends up committed to Mississippi State. Obviously, Ole Miss and State do a really good job of keeping those top Mississippi guys home each year. Decommitted from State, and Matt, a lot of people thought he was immediately about to go to Ole Miss. A lot of the Ole Miss people said, hey, look, Lane Kiffin, Pete Golden, they've been all over him. He's going to end up in the Ole Miss class here shortly. And LSU got him in for the Auburn game, started really pressing, saying, hey, look, we need corners. We need to build from the high school ranks. He really liked LSU more than I think the Ole Miss folks inside realized. And then you go this past weekend, he was supposed to be at Alabama. Alabama invited him in for the Tennessee game. He ends up skipping that, coming back to LSU for the Army game, committed while he was on campus, announced it on Sunday. And like I said, that gives you 2 corner commits. And he's probably a slot field corner, I guess to be very specific about what type of player he is in P.J. Woodland, but a guy who's very refined. I mean, you watch his film, he put out some midseason stuff, and he can turn his hips and run. He's blankets guys in coverage, and I think has a very high floor in terms of coming in ready to roll, almost like a Ryan Yates, who's a guy right now who, as a true freshman playing safety, was a 4-star, but Toviano, other guys got a bunch of the accolades, the recognition. But Yates was coming in from a Denton Geyer program where Brian Kelly said it. He's just so technically sound that we can put him out there for 15 snaps a game when Major Burns and Andre Sam need some rest. And we're trusting a true freshman in big spots. I mean, that was at Ole Miss, Missouri, when they're in shootouts. He was playing. So I could see Woodland being a guy who, if he stays on track, that he'd come in and see some early playing time just because of, like I said, how technically refined his game already is as a corner.
Shea, it's obvious that cornerback was a huge need in this class for LSU. I mean, just we see what's transpired this year. Let's talk a little bit about what LSU's been able to do in putting together this cornerback class so far. This is the, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the 5th cornerback commit that LSU's got in the class right now?
That's correct. So they have the 2 we're talking about, Bernard Cosby and P.J. Woodland, who flipped from Ole Miss and Mississippi State over the past 48 hours. They lost a commitment from Andre Evans, 4-star who flipped from LSU to Georgia a week ago. So in that span, not only did they take 1 to fill that spot, but they take 2. They were after both these guys anyways, but it's nice to see that you didn't have to wait long before those numbers started to climb up again, because that's the goal. They wanted to have 5, 6 corners in this class. It sounds like a lot, but that's the reality of where they're at. We're seeing it on the field right now, like Ashton Stamps, Jeremiah Hughes. Like, those are the only freshmen that are out there that are getting run at playing time. And when these guys get injured or aren't available for whatever reason, they're having to toss them out there. So they wanted to sign, and they want to sign a lot of high school corners. And you've got Jawan Johnson, who's a quarterback at LCA, quarterback, but will play corner at the college level. He's still trying to track down Brock Berlin's 1999 record for most total yards by a high school football player in Louisiana. And if LCA goes deep into the playoffs like they normally do, he's got a very good chance to catch that and break it, which a lot of people thought was a record that would never get broken. Took 14,000 yards in high school, which is ridiculous. But he'll play corner. And then Wallace Foster out of Warren Easton, who's more kind of a nickel. And then Kai Bates out of Florida, 4-star, kind of a boundary corner. So that puts it at 5. And I don't think they're done yet. I think they're going to keep trying to find another corner somewhere. We'll see. Bates has been a guy being in Florida and Orlando who the local schools are recruiting him. Tennessee's still been hard on him. Nothing's done until signing day. So I like LSU making sure that no matter what, they're at least coming away with 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys.
Shea, so if they get 4, 5, 6 cornerbacks, what else are the needs, or who are the other targets at cornerback potentially that LSU's looking at?
One that gets tossed around is Terry Bussey. He's a 5-star athlete. A lot of schools like him at safety. He could certainly play corner. Could also play some on offense. Yeah, I think he's the number 2 athlete in the country, but a 5-star, committed to A&M. And he committed to A&M at the end of September, but since that commitment, he's already been back on LSU's campus. He was there for the Auburn game, and there's just so many eyes on. We talked about it today earlier, Matt, and we were hanging out. And yes, me and Matt hang out off air. That's what we do.
When we're doing other shows,
we just sit around talking recruiting.
That's what
we're not on here talking it. Yeah, fun times. But yeah, we talked about it earlier. Of how does A&M finish? And I even had their losses wrong. They dropped a couple straight games here, but they also lost to Miami. That puts you, if you win every game, you're 9-3. Well, they lose one more, they're 8-4. Two more, that's 7-5. Boy, will the Sharks are already kind of swimming around the boat right now in Texas A&M's class. That's only going to heat up. They were on bye this past week. Fortunately, probably for the Aggies, so they could get out on the road and see some of these kids and talk to them on the phone and try to get them to hold firm. But Draylon Miller decommitted. Terry Bussey's one of their commits. Gabe Relaford from Evangela, D-lineman here in Louisiana, is one of their commits. Dominic McKinley, a D-lineman out of Acadiana, is one of their commits. So there's a number of guys, even beyond that LSU's offered and has been recruiting. Weston Davis out of Beaumont, one of the best offensive tackles in America, picked A&M over LSU. So just something to monitor here down the stretch. Beyond Bussey is there's a lot of guys in that A&M class that Texas, LSU, Auburn, you name Bama, you name the school, they're on them because they are saying, hey, look, if they lose another game or two, these kids are going to start looking around. And I think that's what we're kind of in the beginning stages of here if it continues to trend in the wrong direction for Jimbo and company.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Hey, before you go, what's the open date week for LSU? What are the coaches doing with respect to recruiting?
Yeah, so they're in town right now. They'll practice or do film study and all that kind of stuff. Take it light this week. I know Brian Kelly laid out the plan for it. But then come Thursday, coaches will start being out on the road seeing Thursday games. Friday, coaches will be out on the road to see high school games. And Saturday, I believe they've got the day off before Sunday you get back into full-on, grinding towards getting ready for Bama week. But I will say of the notable visitors, probably two that continue to grab headlines because they're quarterbacks, and LSU already has their quarterback committed for this class, is Bryce Underwood, the number 1 quarterback in the country, and George McIntyre, the number 2 quarterback in the country. And fortunately for Joe Sloan, they do not play on the same night in the bye week. McIntyre plays Thursday. Underwood, the playoff structure already started in Michigan, so he'll get to go up and see Underwood on Friday. So LSU keeping very active on the recruiting trail and very much in the mix right now for the number 1 and 2 quarterbacks in the country. And I can imagine if you're Joe Sloan and you've got you can run up there and Google it or print off your sheets of paper or whatever you need. But, hey, guys, look, number 1 offense in college football, best quarterback in college football. The pitch for that doesn't get much stronger in terms of what they're able to do just 2 years into taking over with Ben Brock as OC and Sloan as quarterback's coach. And we've seen how much Jaden's developed already. I know that both George McIntyre and Underwood have talked about that, seeing kind of the leaps and bounds that he's made as a quarterback and understanding, okay, if I went there, how much my game could grow. So this it'll be an exciting couple months here because Underwood's going to announce in January. McIntyre may pop soon after that, and that will very much determine kind of how that class looks for them, at least from the offensive side.
He is Shea Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Shea, we appreciate it, man. Thanks as always.
All right. So we hung out twice in one day, so that'll be it for this week. Maybe I'll catch you next week.
No, I'll see you Tuesday. All right. Thanks, Shea. We appreciate it. Shea and I, with Michael Cobble, host Sports Takeover on WBRZ and WBRZ Plus, So every Tuesday evening at 6:30 Central, you can check out WBRZ Plus. It's Michael Cobble, Shea Dixon, and I for Sports Takeover, talking LSU from the week that was and previewing the week ahead. So that's we shoot it in the morning and then it airs at 6:30. So that's what Shea was alluding to. All right, it's after further review. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I got a tweet from an angry person. On Twitter, he's a smoke break one. A smoke break one. He tweeted at me and my guy RP3 over in Lafayette, our affiliate, ESPN 1037. He said, can you explain why we just heard Astros news for 3 hours followed by Moscona praising Rangers players on air while interviewing him? Isn't this like Boston praising a Yankees player? This is an Astros radio affiliate. Act like it. Hey, a smoke break. Kick rocks, loser. Are you freaking kidding me? Josh Smith is from Baton Rouge. He played at LSU. People here love the guy, and he's going to the World Series. You can love your team just like I do, but if you can't be happy for that guy individually, then kick rocks. I'll always, always, always highlight local guys doing great things at the next level. We have an entire freaking segment here called Tigers and the Pros. Go take a smoke break, loser. It's after further review. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Get on by Rouse's or download the Rouse's app. One of the really cool things coming up next month as we inch closer to the Thanksgiving holiday. Our friends over at Rouse's are going to be helping the community like they always do, and helping feed the homeless during the holiday breaks as well. So we're going to be able to tell you much more about what they have coming up, and you can go to the website over, and they're going to be involving the New Orleans Saints and great Saints alumni as well to raise money to help restock all the food banks around Louisiana and the areas that Rouse's serves. You can get more info at Rouse's.com. Always encourage you to download the Rouse's app. Always encourage you to download the Rouse's app, and if you need that delivery or pickup option, it'll be more convenient. The curbside pickup is easy. For orders over $100, use the code SAINTS20. They'll knock $20 off your bill. It's at Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Real tractors are green. Darn right. If it ain't a deer, it ain't really a tractor. Shout out to our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Who is this, Muse?
So, Eric Hart sent me this on Twitter.
Shout out Eric Hart, Calici.
Yeah, this is Anna McElroy. I think he said it was one of his buddy's daughters, actually.
Okay.
A good song.
Shout out Anna McElroy. Local?
That I don't know. That wasn't included in the tweet.
Shout out. Real tractors are green.
Suppose I could Google her.
I'm going to get Anna McElroy a John Deere hat.
There we go.
Anna McElroy, DM me. We're getting you a John Deere hat. Love it. It's Gator season, y'all. Remember, we talk about all the farm equipment, the giant industrial farm equipment that Sunshine sells and services and leases. But also, you want zero-turn mowers, Gators, they got all of it. If it's a Deere, you're getting it at Sunshine. Bunkie and below, all 17 locations all over Louisiana. Sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Oh. I told you that they've done NIL deals with a Tiger football player for every game. Right, so we've highlighted several of them. Will Campbell, what did Will Campbell the week of Arkansas?
Yeah, with the little pig, the
piglets.
Yeah.
They've had some really good ones. I forgot who it was. The week of Ole Miss, they had like the crawfish traps, like the land shark crawfish traps. Mason Taylor is Bama week.
Makes sense.
And Emory Jones is Florida week. And I'm here to tell you, I think the Emory Jones Florida Week video is going viral.
All right.
I think it's going viral.
Okay.
So if you're not following Sunshine on Instagram and the other social media accounts, particularly Instagram, but all their social media accounts, you need to go follow them on Instagram. The content's great, but you're going to love the NIL content with Emory Jones the week of the Florida game. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Adam Rittenberg of ESPN is going to be on the show tomorrow. Looking forward to that conversation. He did a piece that is essentially highlighting luxuries in college football, luxury players. So, for example, like who's got the best backup quarterback? He talks about Jason Bean at Kansas and Noah Fafita at Arizona. Best offensive line, he highlights Michigan. All-purpose running back, Ashton Jonty at Boise State. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Well, look, a lot of teams have a great number one receiver, but who has a great number two receiver? And he highlights, of course, as you might imagine, Brian Thomas at LSU leads the nation in touchdown receptions. And he writes, LSU knew it had a nationally elite wideout in Malik Neighbors, but it needed others to help grow the passing offense behind quarterback Jaden Daniels. Thomas had started 15 games, including 9 as a true freshman in 2021. He showed production with 720 yards and 7 touchdowns. But this fall, he's emerged as one of the SEC's best wide receivers alongside Neighbors with 42 receptions, 732 yards, and 11 touchdowns, which leads the nation. Brian Kelly talked about this back about a month ago, about Brian Thomas emerging the way that he has.
Brian has matured in everything he's done, off the field, on the field, and you could see that maturation process in camp. Accountability, reliability, on the field, off the field, and kind of knew that was going to be the case this year, that he was going to be a guy that we could count on. And he had those, I think, those moments, if you will, but they were inconsistent last year. We just feel like he's doing everything the right way, and because of it, it's translating on the football field. Now we have a legitimate, option there.
One of the things that in the Rittenberg piece he did was he anonymously spoke to an SEC defensive coordinator who he quoted saying, this is the SEC defensive coordinator saying this, quote, he'll go up and get it. He's got long speed. He's more raw than Neighbors, but he needed to be developed. But naturally, his ceiling is so high. That's an SEC defensive coordinator talking about Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas even spoke on the record to Adam Rittenberg for this piece, and he said of he and Malik Neighbors, quote, we play off each other well. If teams try to bracket him, it leaves me one-on-one. If teams try to bracket me, it leaves him with a mismatch. It depends on where we line up. You could tell they've really figured out with those two how they complement each other, what they do exceptionally well. Like, you don't need me to say that. We could see the results. But what I was looking at today, it's pretty obvious that this offense is going to do what the 2013 LSU offense did, and then was matched by the 2019 LSU offense. Something that had never been done in SEC history until 2013 LSU, which was a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and 2 1,000-yard receivers. LSU did that in 2013 with Mettenberger, Jeremy Hill, Odell, and Jarvis. That was the first time in the history of the league that had ever happened. 2019 LSU, obviously with Burrow and then Clyde and then Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase did it as well. What's interesting is that 2020 Bama team that a lot of people talk about as, with all the superlatives that 2019 LSU had, people say, well, 2020 Bama came along and bested it. Well, Mac Jones had a really good year, although he was about 700 yards shy of Joe Burrow's passing total. But you had Najee Harris, who ran for 1,400 yards, and then you had Devontae Smith, who had 1,800 receiving yards that year when he won the Heisman. He was magnificent, but he was the only 1,000-yard receiver. They didn't, in 2020, have another. I mean, Jalen Waddle was obviously really good. I'm not saying that Mechie was really good as well, but fell short of 1,000 yards. Now, they played 13 games. If they had played 15, Mechie, he would have gone over 1,000. He was about 900 yards, so he would have gone over 1,000 with 2 more games. But 2019 Bama was the other one that did it. LSU and Bama both did it in 2019. 2019 Bama didn't do it. Tua threw for 2,800 yards, so he fell short of the 3,000 yards passing. But Judy and Devontae Smith both had 1,000 yards. So it just goes to illustrate how difficult it is to do what LSU did twice in 2013 and 2019, because no other team has been able to do that in the history of the SEC. And this LSU team is going to do it. I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to hit 3,000 yards passing. Logan Diggs needs 389 yards to get to 1,000. Like, with 4 games to go plus a bowl, he has a minimum 5 games, maybe 6 with an SEC championship. He needs 389. Like, Logan Diggs is going to get to 1,000. And Neighbors is at 981, and Brian Thomas is at 732. Both of them are going to go over 1,000. So LSU, for the 3rd time since 2013, is going to do something that no other school in the history of the SEC has ever been able to do. That's a pretty amazing feat when you think about so many of the offenses in the history of this league, from Tim Couch at Kentucky to the great Bama offenses we just talked about. I mean, you had Steve Spurrier offenses at Florida. And LSU is on the brink of doing something for the 3rd time, which no other school has ever done in the history of this league. It's pretty remarkable. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break here of hour number 2. When we come back, Muse will do Tigers and the Pros. Sean Salsbury in 15 minutes. Stay here.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. With rising interest rates, I know there's a lot of people who are looking, saying, I'm not going to buy a home right now. Wait till the rates come down. But you know what you can do right now in buying a home is you're buying a home at a discount. And yes, the rate might be higher, but whenever rates come down, you can refinance. You can't renegotiate the price of the home. And when rates come down, you better believe what we're going to see is home prices skyrocket. So if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, now is the time to do it. Call Darren James. Remember, he's got his guaranteed sale program. Darren guarantees he'll sell your home at a price by a deadline you agree to, or he'll have your home bought with cash or sell it for free for his half of the commission. It's Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A suspected serial killer was cleared to get out of prison by a federal appeals court this week. Samuel Galbraith raped and murdered Karen Sue Eads Hill in 1988. Despite a 71-year sentence in the 90s, he could be released any day now. but a WBRZ investigative unit report helped block his release in 2017 after exposing what was about to happen. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Sean Salsbury in about 10 minutes. Right now, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, we had the live update for you yesterday during the show. We'll get you a final recap here of Aaron Nola's day yesterday in the NLCS. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 404 strikeouts for Nola. He did take the loss.
You know what? Cali High!
There you go. Hey, look,
doing it anyway.
He's had a great postseason. Awesome. 3-1 with a 2.35 ERA. It's up to the Phils to get a win tonight in order to extend theirs and Aaron Nola's postseason. Alex Bregman last night.
Cali High!
No.
Well, he should have been.
He's not even from the state.
Well, if he was, he would have gone.
Yeah, no, I can't really argue that. 2 for 4 last night in the ballgame, including a home run. His 4th home run of the postseason, his 3rd home run in the ALCS. So Bregman put together a really nice series there. Scored a couple of runs and had the RBI, of course, last night. 220 in the postseason. Again, like I said, with those 4 home runs. The guy who was mad about us talking about Josh Smith might want to cover his ears for this part. The Rangers won 11-4, and they are going to the World Series. Congratulations again to Josh Smith.
Cali High!
There you go. Monday Night Football last night. Danielle Hunter. We've been talking a lot about Danielle Hunter's season, and with good reason. 2 more tackles last night, but that's not the important part. The important part is one of them was a sack. His 9th sack of the season. And you might ask, well, why is that important? Why? Because that passes TJ Watt, and Danielle Hunter is now the NFL's leader in sacks with 9, currently pacing for 22 on the season, which maybe some Defensive Player of the Year conversation. 22 sacks ahead of TJ Watt. I mean, you get there. That's fair to say, right? We'll have to wait and see, though, if his season finishes in Minnesota. He has been tossed around plenty in trade rumors. Although, I mean, with that win last night, Minnesota, who knows? And Kirk Cousins went for 378.
Shut up. By the way, You can't throw that in my face because I texted you.
I know you did.
At kickoff, and it was like, so I made a very large wager on the Niners money line, and I texted Muse like a gif of a guy pushing his chips all in. And I said to you, what did I say to you? Like, why do I do this?
Yeah.
I know this is going to end badly. And kickoff was like, I said, Kurt finna throw for 350 and 4 tuds. He went for 378 and 2 tuds.
And 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
How wrong was I? It's like you do it and you know, like I knew it.
You just have a bad feeling.
And I should have just got, like, Jimmy's picks hit.
Yeah.
Vikings +7, under. They both hit. If I just stuck with the Otter, I'd have gone ding, ding. But no, I was like, let me just play it safe, throw a big number, get a little bit back from the night before, and boom,
gotta get the coin back.
All gone.
Okay.
And it's it's not the play.
Yeah.
I knew better, Muse. I knew better. Like, I'm doing it and I know better, and I still did it.
We've all been there.
Idiot.
The NBA gets underway tonight, and there are 9 former LSU Tigers on active NBA rosters to start the season. None of them play tonight, so we'll talk more about that tomorrow. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Muse just said the NBA starts tonight, so it's Christmas. That's great. And, of course, being that it is Christmas, if, gentlemen, you're looking to thrill her this Christmas, a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels will certainly do it. If you're thinking of popping the question, go where all of Louisiana's gotten get engaged for more than 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, it is after further review. Let's knock out a quick break. Sports Center coming up, get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Sean Salsbury is with us, talk a little ball. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. Keep telling y'all about the holiday camps. Y'all make sure that if you haven't done it yet, you get to the website to register. The elite camps for the pitchers and the catchers, those are already, the catchers and infield programs, like, they're done. The holiday baseball camps and the speed camps, you can still sign up for. So get to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com to register to get all the info about the baseball camps and the speed camps. Of course, get the Thanksgiving camp, the Christmas camp, and the New Year's camps, ages 5 to 12, full and half-day options. So, parents, if you're thinking during the holidays, what am I going to do with the kiddos when they're out of school? Traction, baseball and speed camps. Register today online at TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Of course, you could inquire about the pitcher and catcher camps as well to see if they have any room left or get on a waiting list. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Running Parts Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second straight night, baseball's got a Game 7 with a trip to the World Series on the line. Phillies host the Diamondbacks in the winner-take-all matchup in the National League Championship Series, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Phil skipper Rob Thompson is keeping the same lineup he's had the previous 6 games, despite struggles of hitters in key spots. Bob Melvin's leaving the Padres to become manager of the NL West rival Giants. The Nuggets' quest to repeat as champs tips off tonight against the Lakers on opening night in the NBA. Caesars Sportsbook gives Denver the third best odds to win a second straight title. ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler.
Denver's got the best team in the NBA, and their starting five has all that chemistry and the cohesion. That's very important, the continuity. They didn't improve themselves. They actually lost some key pieces.
Bruce Brown, yeah.
Bruce Brown, critical. Denver is the most sure thing going into the season, but the Lakers, Phoenix, Golden State, all three of those teams are just lurking right there beneath the surface.
Tim Legler on Unsportsmanlike. Nuggets-Lakers coverage in 1 hour on ESPN Radio. This game also marks the start of the 20th NBA season for LA's LeBron James.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Every Tuesday, we have the pleasure to be joined by our guy, Sean Salsbury, Sports Talk 790 there in Houston. He's on Twitter, @SeanUnfiltered. Just awesome content all the way around. We appreciate the time we get with him here every Tuesday. Sean, how are you, man?
I'm good, Matty. How are you, bud?
I'd be doing better if the Saints didn't stink. Hey, look, we didn't get a chance to talk last week after they lost in Houston. And then they go absolutely lay an egg in the Dome against Jacksonville. The big question everybody has here, Sean, and we'll start with this, is this, meaning Derek Carr, Pete Carmichael, Dennis Allen, this Saints structure, is this salvageable?
Are we talking on a temporary or the long term, Matty? Listen, salvageable is they're going to be in a fight. This team should have been the favorite to win the division, and they were, but they're not playing like it. Tampa Bay's taking care of some of their business. Atlanta's playing well. It's going to be I would have thought that the Saints could have distanced themselves because while they still have a phenomenal defense, the inconsistencies. Matty, I was going back over, after watching the game, this past week, is going over the numbers. Just, I think stats can be overrated, but there's some telling ones. And you look at the stats. If you didn't watch the game, you'd say, oh, okay, they probably won the game. And then you look at field goals, and you look at not get to them kicking field goals and, drop passes, which I'm sure we're going to get to, which I felt awful for him. What I mean, he's been through more adversity than you can imagine. And then where you don't run the ball, even though they ran it more than the opponent, they threw it 50+ times. And that's the telling. Say, you don't win very often doing it. It's weird. It's a weird situation with a defense. And I look at Dennis Allen. I think Dennis Allen's, this is his last year as a head coach there, unless something changes drastically. I think Dennis Allen's a hell of a defensive coordinator. I think Josh McDaniels is a hell of an offensive coordinator. But there's a difference between being a great in-rhythm play caller or an X's and O's guy or a position coach / coordinator play caller. Then there is the guy who may have done that to get to the head coach, but I'm so big on leadership and trust. And Dennis is a good guy. He is. But I think his specialty is dialing up defenses and holding the card. And sometimes there's disconnect for whatever reason. And Derek Carr is who he's been. Put up numbers, make some plays. Sometimes there's a little bit of an excuse. He's an upgrade at the position. But you're not winning a Super Bowl in New Orleans with this offense the way it is. So, yeah, I would have thought, and I hate saying this because I like Pete and I do like Dennis, and I think Derek Carr's a good player. But they're not getting you to February as a trifecta. They're just not. Now, the pieces of them, if you told me I had head coach and Dennis Allen was my defensive coordinator and Pete was an assistant and Derek Carr was battling for the job and had really good players around him offensively and he didn't have to throw it 50 times, I would think different, that they could compete. But they're going to struggle to get out and win the division, even though their defense will keep them in it. And they'll have flashes of brilliance. I don't think that trifecta is going to be together when the season's over if this trend continues. They should be better than this, but you're not putting a ring on your finger right now with this group, in my opinion.
Then let me ask a point-blank question, and
Sure.
you can take it wherever you want. What is wrong with Derek Carr?
I don't think anything's wrong, Matty. I think this is who he is. As you know me as a real big time, and I think sometimes you can be stunned by what's happened in the past. I'll speak for myself, and I'm not Derek Carr by any stretch, but whatever it is along the way that stuns you in your physical, mental, emotional approach to the game, I think there is. And I think at times there's some built-in excuses. And I do. As a Raider fan, I've studied every move Derek Carr's made. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't know if I've ever said this on this show, but I have a very close friend who's been on staff that he's been on. He said Sean works his ass off, prepares, loves to play. He said, but you just keep an eye on him as the season rolls along in a game that of bigger magnitude. If he's getting hit early or it changes on the road in December, November gets hit, he said, you'll see a different football player. And he saw a lot of him, and he loves him. But he said, you'll see a different football player, meaning a guy that just might not like going through that. None of us do, but some excel through it. But whatever it is that I think this is who Derek Carr is. I think he's a really good player. He's going to put up numbers. I think there's substance there, but it's not a deep pool. I think you can stand to your waist up, and he's going to, in some games, you're going to say, damn, come from behind through 3 touchdowns. And then you're going to scratch your head and say, why that decision? How come not this? Some guys, and that doesn't mean you have to, we compare everybody to Mahomes and Brady, all these great players. Listen, some guys are built different. Everybody's not Shohei Ohtani or Yordan Alvarez. There's different guys. You can be good and still not be great or be a guy who's going to wear a ring. There's more guys live there where Derek Carr is than live where Mahomes and Burrow have been.
Yeah.
As a Raider fan, frustrated me at times. I don't think they upgraded their position this offseason either. I think Derek Carr would have been better for them. But what's better? Getting you hopefully to January and no further? I mean, we're what, Matty, almost 10 years in? What are we, 8, 9 years in now?
This is his 10th season.
Okay, so you tell me what trend's changing? I mean, the spots on, I mean, they may get smaller or bigger. They're not going away. So he's got flaws. He's got some strengths. He can be accurate. He can be great late, but he also has that. There's a lot of distance between when he's not real good and when he is. Some of the great ones, I bet you can go through all of Mahomes' games and say, okay, he didn't play real well in that one, but they still hung in there and had a chance. There's not many of them. I think there's too big a gap between great and average, and I like Derek Carr. I don't love him. I think he can get you to January, maybe if they play better offensively. I don't think he can get you to February here, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I just don't think so. Pete's a good coach. Dennis is a good coach. None of them are going to be leading your team to February, but they're good at what they do when they specialize in what they do. But this is not a February setup with the way it is. So if you thought you were getting that with Derek Carr, you weren't. If you thought you were getting a good player who in this division, a fairly weak one, you'd be in contention to win it, yes. But even if you win the division, I can promise you as I sit here now, the New Orleans Saints are not winning the Super Bowl this year. That is just a fact because there's certain things missing, and you and I both know it.
There, no doubt. Look, I mean, the way I described it when they
I
signed
hate saying it, Matty. It's a hard game. It is, and it's never personal for me. Hell, I think Derek Carr, I wish I had that kind of career. But my job is to tell you, you said be frank about it. I'm just telling you that when they go there, say, is winning a division enough for you guys? Is winning a division enough for Pittsburgh? Is winning for Minnesota? I can sit there and name 15 cats that live right in the middle that you're going to be good with, but you're not going to. They're not getting fitted for a ring from what is it, Jostin? You're not getting that ring, okay? It's just the way it is.
I mean, in the NFL, they might go with Tiffany. That might be a little bit.
There you go. That's a guarantee, brother.
Now, look, whenever they signed Derek Carr, Sean, I mean, my thing, what I said, I got called a hater for it, but I said, look, you're going to have a lower ceiling, but you're going to have a higher floor. What do you want to be? Do you want to win the division and get bounced in the wild card round, or do you want to try to win a Super Bowl? So the question moving forward is, Sean, they cannot off-ramp out of this Derek Carr deal until 2026. So they are financially burdened next year and 25. So people here are asking, well, do you play Jameis? And I'm like, no, because you've got to try to find a way to make this work with Carr.
And listen, Matty, we've had Jameis's conversation. What is he? And it's no disrespect to him. Listen, I'm old man now. I'm removed from the game, and I have a lot of respect for that guy. He's got guts and he'll throw. We've had the conversation. He can rip it. But once again, where do you think you're going with him? Honest to God. Yeah. How many years has he been in the league now? He and Mariota came at the same time. Where do you honestly think you're going in New Orleans and Tampa? Where are you going with Jameis Winston? Maybe make an extra throw, but throw 2 picks. Maybe where he gets to the point he's matured and he protects a little more, but takes away what we love about Jameis Winston is he works. And he has guts to throw it into a tight window. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We use the word elite or that type quarterback. Listen, there's about 4 or 5 guys who sit in that class. Then there's a handful more who sit in the just below it class that are really, really damn good, but not Mahomes or Burrow or even Lamar Jackson right now the way he's playing. And then there's a bunch that are between 18 and 28. And then there's a couple that probably should be backups in the league. But you're right. They're strapped. Why would you go? You're getting the same guy just in a different wrapper, a different jersey number. They're going to make throws. They're going to wow you with some things, and they're going to break your heart with others. So could they win a playoff game? Sure. Kamara's a hell of a player. They've got good players. Defense alone could score twice and give you in position. But there's a culture, a DNA, a leadership, something different about those cats at the top. And we know exactly who and what I'm talking about. Then there's the other guys. I mean, I know people want to switch. Switch to what? Switch to what? You want to go from an 8 and flip it upside down to the other side of an 8 that looks the same? I mean, it's just a different wrapper. Good players. Neither one is a starting quarterback in this league will be wearing a ring because of them as a starter. Now, there may be a backup in year 14 and go win one. But if you think they're taking you from August to February and to be a champion, a Super Bowl champion, it is not happening. Pick any team you want and send Jameis there and Derek Carr. I don't care. 49ers, Derek Carr ain't doing what Brock Purdy's doing. Jameis Winston's not taking Tampa this year any farther than Baker Mayfield is. There's a big game difference. What I'm talking about, if you want to just talk about playoffs, I can name 20 guys that can get there. Hell, I quarterback the team into the playoffs. But I can tell you this, February's a different egg, buddy. And I go down the list and tell you who's not getting there. And I hate to say it, but the starting quarterback and the backup for you are not taking you to the promised land if the promised land's February.
I think that reality is setting in all over here, Sean. And it's
and I personally, when you went out and did it, I thought it was an upgrade. Matty, you asked me the first week of this year, right? It's an upgrade. Derek Carr's a good player, and now you got two really good players, starter and backup, and a versatile guy with Taysom Hill can do a lot. But when you pay that kind of money and you invest it in, I'm just trying to think, what did they think they were going to do to the next level? Like I said, there's certain things. Now, Rich Gannon's like an aberration. Rich went around the league, went to Oakland, got it, and tore it up. Changed his game, became such a methodical, great pocket, accurate passer. And I was a teammate of Rich's, tough, and got after it. And, man, he took it to another level. But you got to have, if you don't have all the great defenses, and another teammate of mine, Brad Johnson, who made, Brad went to a Pro Bowl, threw for 4,000 yards. Yeah. If you don't have all those elements and a guy who protects it, and Rich and Brad were two really good ones, different type players. I'm just using guys I played with, elevated. But we're at a point now that to transform your career that late, unless you're across the board, you're just so dominant, the quarterback's there to hold hands. You're just not getting there. This is not the answer if you plan on putting a ring on your finger. It's just, think how tough it was with Drew Brees to get one.
Yeah.
As good as that guy is, and he is a damn near Mount Rushmore guy. This is a different egg, and if you don't have that guy, you're going to end up as just a guy when it comes to 28 other teams in this league.
Well, the guy in the purple and gold is a much easier conversation to have. We'll get to him when we come back. Sean Salisbury is with us. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Give him a follow. Mornings here on Sports Talk 790 in Houston. You can find his stuff and his content everywhere on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll talk a little purple and gold. Jaden Daniels continues to elevate his game. Get Sean's thoughts on it next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property downtown, and the Renaissance, Southtown, as they call it, right there on Bluebonnet. Unmatched views when you go to the top of the Renaissance. There's no place, certainly in Southtown, like the Renaissance, with those views up top where you can see clear across the Mississippi River to Tiger Stadium, south and west as well, south and east. It's the Renaissance Hotel. And remember, they always have great events. They're starting their series over at Tallulah, the restaurant inside the Renaissance, tomorrow, Wednesday, October 25th, 6 to 8 p.m. It's Oktoberfest at Tallulah, featuring Noel Family Distillery, Rally Cap Brewing, and great food from Chef Jason Hebert and the staff at Tallulah. Tickets are $55. You can buy them online if you go to Tallulah's website or their Facebook page, or in person. Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, continuing with Sean Salisbury, good enough to join us for a couple of segments every Tuesday, an NFL segment, a college segment. As not fun as it is talking about Derek Carr and what's ailing the Saints offensive flip side, it's a 180 when you talk about LSU and Jaden Daniels. You know, Sean, I know whenever we look through a scouting lens, like projecting to the next level, the answer to this question might be different. But I want to ask it in a specific way. Is Jaden Daniels playing the best football of any college quarterback right now?
I think he'd be hard-pressed to find – I don't care. It doesn't matter conference or level. I think he'd be hard-pressed to find anybody better. What's he not doing? He's using his feet. He's commanding the line of scrimmage. He's elevating the room and the game and the people around him. I know I understand the Army game and the bye this week, but he elevates. If their defense was typical LSU, you'd be in the national title hunt.
Ooh.
You would. You would be in that, because to me, you got to have that guy in that position to get you there. Look around at, I mean, Georgia, while I know they're loaded, but their quarterback's been playing better, and he's getting better every week. Sorry about that.
Friends
my dog,
are here,
my,
bro.
my,
Yeah.
my 100-pound bully loves Jaden Daniels as well.
Love
So
it,
there you go.
dude.
There you go. He's like, Pops, yeah, tell him
Yeah.
he's a Heisman guy.
Know where his vote's going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You know what he hasn't done, man? And, you know, we could sit here and go there, and maybe by the time as we go, we start to break down what I see in him on for Sundays and stuff.
Yes.
But you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody better. And they are at 6-2, similar to my team, as we talked about at SC, that the defense against good teams has struggled and taken themselves out of the national title hunt. But both have quarterbacks that, quite frankly, are carrying their teams. Now, I personally think that the number 1 and 2, you can flip them however you want. Because they're undefeated, J.J. McCarthy is going to get more love. His stats aren't going to be as gaudy. I think he's like 18-3 touchdowns to interceptions, but he's a really good two-dimensional type player. But there's nobody playing better. Penix has had his fall-off game. Caleb Williams and that defense. And sometimes here's what happens, Matty. We throw the quarterback in with the defense if they're struggling. You know what I'm saying? You get beat and give up 50. All of a sudden we say, well, the quarterback must not played well. Well, look at Brock Purdy last night. Played a pretty damn good game, but they get beaten. All of a sudden we're saying, well, what happened? Well, he may have missed a few, but Purdy played pretty decent. It's the same thing here and with Caleb. But to me, Caleb's fallen off. Michael Penix, great player. This doesn't mean they're not going to be great on Sundays, but right now in college, we saw Drake May have his problem. I mean, you go through it all the guys we mentioned, there's 2 that haven't had their, and the Michigan schedule has been pretty easy. He's going to have his chance against the Ohio States and Big Ten, and he's doing it against SEC schools. So I don't think there's anybody playing better. If there is, I haven't seen him. Now, Sundays, we'll see as we get closer and evaluate this in January where they have him ranked regularly. But I'll go to bat for Daniels on a regular basis, and I think that he's 1 and 2 with J.J. McCarthy if voters had the guts to say, well, they're not a Final Four team right now, so how can we? Marvin Harrison's in it. Bowers is in it. There's non-quarterbacks. But the Jaden Daniels, you won't beat him if your defense plays. He can beat anybody in the country with his game, and he has improved even after the way he ended last year and got better. Yes. So a long answer is yes. He's playing as well as anybody in America and has not had that major stub his toe game. And he gets Alabama and the rest of it. He keeps going. He'll not only be in New York, but you'd be hard pressed to find anybody playing better than him at that position offensively.
Did you work when you do your scouting, your work with your tutoring with quarterbacks? Did you work with Jaden at all when he was in high school or when he was at Arizona State?
I did not, but I know people who, I've spent a lot of time in Scottsdale with a bunch of people and have trained quarterbacks out there. I did not.
So
I have not, but I could tell you this. He went from that guy who's here's one, Matt, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
you're good.
Guys like I've had conversations with quarterbacks who are two-dimensional that got great feet and that can throw it as well with a bunch of them. And what they hate. Now, we all like to be called a great athlete though, right? When we're younger and hey, guy's a great athlete. But you know what we really want is you want to be a great quarterback first who happens to be a great athlete, not the other way around, right? And I think when he came in, a dynamic playmaker, but you always heard everything else when he was at Arizona State. Oh, what a great freshman, but is he a great quarterback? And I can tell you when I judge a quarterback is what'd you do when you first came into where you are now? Did you level off? Where's the ceiling? Where's the floor? I think he's gotten better every step of the way, and it's a different system in a tougher conference, at least usually overall. Maybe not this year in the Pac-12 compared to the SEC, but he's playing in a tougher conference as well, Coach. I'd take him with anybody in America when it comes to having to win on Saturday. He's gotten better every year and every week, it seems to me.
So that is a good segue, though, because what I'm curious about is when you look at scouting prospects to the next level, where are the holes for Jaden that don't have him in the same category as Caleb Williams and Drake May, like right now at the top of people's draft boards? Because Jaden seems to be when you look at that and maybe like that next tier of guys.
I think, Matty, this is going to sound harsh to some. I think you get a lot of experts or so-called experts that guess. I do. I think, okay, well, he's a little more slight of body than Caleb Williams' lower half, or he's not as tall and pure a thrower. We put these narratives on guys. I always laugh when the season's over. Guys haven't run, haven't thrown, haven't done anything. And guys rise and fall in the offseason more than they do in 11-on-11 in full gear in playing against good competition. I'm like, what happened between January 15th and February 12th that had the guy dropping 47 slots and he didn't do anything? What would he do? Because somebody started a narrative? I think, Matty, we're intrigued with that 6'5", 230-pound guy.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of those guys who can throw it through a car wash and it won't get wet but can't hit the car wash. Jaden Daniels, to me, I'm past the point now of all this, the look, the tangible stuff, the measurables. I'm 6'5", 230. Damn, there's plenty of guys at 6 foot, 195 pounds that can throw it better or more accurate. So I think probably the fact that they still, because of the Mays and the Caleb Williams and the Michael Penix, and like last week, 11-15 plays a half basically and doesn't have the gaudy numbers that you'd normally have if you played a full game because they smoked Army. I usually wait till December and January to talk to guys that actually are still in the NFL. What do you think about him specifically? A lot of it's just guys writing what they see with the naked eye. It's not hardcore study. When I study him, I see a guy with really good feet who's become more poised and keeps his head up the field and gets through progressions, who can, I don't want him to take some of the hits you and I have talked about that he takes, but I'm not intrigued with 6'5", 230 anymore. It's nice. I'm intrigued with a playmaker who elevates the people around him and has got that miss-me body that can handle a hit, that's got mental, physical, and emotional toughness. I'd love to sit down and talk with him where his head is, but I like guys who make people better. Listen, 6'5" guys get hurt, 5'11" guys get hurt, 6'2" guys get hurt, but I'm not as intrigued like some are. I'm intrigued with, are you a playmaker, football playing Jesse? And I think he is. And I think we've long got by, I hope, even though they could do the same thing, the 6'5" guy will get taken before the 6'1" guy if everything else was equal, because they're just intrigued with it. I'm not. And there's nothing Jaden Daniels does now, and I can't imagine the NFL. He may not have the same arm as a guy like, the Andrew Luck when he came out, or John Elway. But that's overrated too, which is for another contest or another segment next time, because that's my trait. That's about 5 or 6. If you can make the throws with accuracy and process information and throw to windows on time, I can win with you. That's the number one thing. So you'll hear a lot of ups and downs, but I want to know a guy got better and if he hit his ceiling, because I can tell you guys who have. Jaden Daniels hasn't.
Sean, next week when we have you, we'll be able to go deeper dive previewing LSU and Alabama as both teams
Right.
are going into their open date. But I'm curious if you have like an early thought before we like really peel back the layers of the onion to look at. Do you have an early thought on that here? A week and a half out.
Yeah, I think that if you force them to play from behind, meaning Alabama, Matty, and they got to throw regularly, I think you can beat them. Now, say that we know how well coached are. The difference is they apply their will to teams and they're physical up front. Milroe's got good versatility, but if you force him to throw it 40 times, I don't think they're going to win if it's a close game. So for me, the early thing is get out in front, and it's going to come down to this: are you stout enough on defense to make them beat you throwing it? I don't think they can. If it gets into one of those contests, Milroe ain't. If it goes back and forth, advantage LSU. LSU's defense is something that's in physicality up front. Alabama's going to rely on option running it, RPO, and playing downhill football. But if you make them chase and they got to throw to win, I thought LSU. I think this is a very winnable game. But if they're out in front and it's close and they stay on schedule with what they want to do, and he can mix in the throw, then you're in trouble. To me, if you can win on first down, long yardage, and make them run and he gets 6 yards, but you still got a punt, it'll have to be LSU's best game to date. Why? Because the physicality of Alabama, even though the finesse doesn't look the same as it has in the past, advantage LSU there. But don't let it be 14-14 in the fourth and they can run the ball. Yeah. Make them play from behind. I don't think they can throw it and beat a team that's got the ability to put 40 on somebody every week.
Man, I'd be thrilled if we're in the fourth quarter and LSU's only allowed 14. If that's the case, Sean, I think LSU's up 35-14 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if they have that out-of-body,
I hear you.
That out-of-body game and maybe get a short field on an interception.
Yeah.
Listen, he's a Katy kid, Milroe, and I like him. And I know his pops, but I can tell you this, he's not dropping back to throw it and beat you. If you got to throw it 40 times and he's playing from behind, LSU will win that football game.
He's been sacked 30 times in 7
and
games.
Man, you know what? Real quick, you know the misconception. You're talking about Milroe, right? Mm-hmm. You know the misconception about guys who got great feet is a lot of times they know they do, and that they can lean on that. So what do? I've seen it in the NFL. I've seen it in the NFL with guys. A lot of times those guys lead the league at the top of the league in sacks. Why? Unless it's a bad offensive line. Because they run themselves into sacks because they bail out on their progressions and decisions early because that's their lean on it crutch. The guys who don't have that, I'm going to hang in here and get to my third guy. It's a tight end sitting down. So, yes, those guys will run into sacks. LSU's got a real shot coming out of that bye week to do this. They got to stay on schedule and force Alabama to play behind the sticks and have to throw it.
We'll go deep dive into LSU, Alabama when Sean's with us next week. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you check out Pro Sports Fans as well. Sean, we appreciate it as always, man. We're looking forward to next week coming off the bye for LSU and hopefully a win for the Saints going to Indy.
Always love joining you, brother. You're a top shelf, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. You're the best. We appreciate it. That is the one and only Sean Salisbury on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Dude's good enough to give us 30 minutes every Tuesday, which is it's awesome content. We appreciate it so much. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. By the way, I think they just confirmed this today. Coming up on Monday, November the 13th. If you've been curious about LASIK, refractive surgery, they're going to have an open house from 6 to 8 p.m. Maybe it's 6 to 7:30. I'll get the exact time. But anyway, Monday, November the 13th. At their location on Suma, which is right in front of the Baton Rouge General. They're Dr. Blake loves bourbon as well, so they're going to have some bourbons and whiskeys there. Super low-key, very informal. I'm going to jet over there, be available to answer any questions, talk about my experience. We'll hang out, have a whiskey, and anybody that wants to come learn about refractive procedures and answer some questions and meet Dr. Blake, would love to do that. So mark that date, Monday, November the 13th at the Williamson Eye Center on Suma. It's in Baton Rouge, right off a Bluebonnet in front of the Baton Rouge General. The Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, that was interesting when Sean was talking about Milroe. And we'll go much deeper dive in Alabama. But Milroe's been sacked 30 times. The fewest amount of sacks Bama's given up this season was the opener against Middle Tennessee. They won 56-7. He was sacked twice. I mean, And of course, he didn't play in the game at South Florida. So in the 7 games that Milrose played, he's been sacked 30 times. Outside of the opener against Middle Tennessee, none fewer than 4 in a game. A&M sacked him 6 times. You can be disciplined and active with your defensive front. You can get home. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Brian Kelly meeting with reporters just a bit ago. We'll update you on what he had to say. And, Mattress Mack. Our guy took a bath. I was feeling bad about my bets last night on Monday Night Football. You should see what Mattress Mack lost last night. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. As a matter of fact, had a guy today, Ronnie, as a matter of fact was his name, who texted me on my show text line, said, hey, we had a leak in our roof. Can Hudco help? I immediately got his contact information, sent it to our crews at Hudco. Someone was in contact with him immediately. We're thrilled to be able to help you. It doesn't matter how big or small, from the smallest commercial or smallest residential repair to the largest commercial re-roof. We'd love to help at Hudco. Make sure when you give us a shout at Hudco, especially if you own a commercial building, flat roofs, metal roofs, Hudco offers a silicone coating product which will extend the life of your roof because it comes with a 20-year warranty. A 20-year warranty on your silicone coating product. So not only will it make your roof more efficient, it'll last longer. It's Hudco Roofing.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong. Gulf
In rows of green, his whole life was revealed. Oh, what I wouldn't give if I could just live like a man on a tractor with a dog in a field.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Woo! What we got, Muse?
This is A Man on a Tractor by Rodney Atkins.
And you know that tractor's green.
Of course it is.
Because if it ain't, you shouldn't be on it.
It's true.
Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Get to sunequip.com. Sunequip.com is the website. Thrilled about our partnership with Sunshine. They've been awesome. Of course, and you never hear a country song about anything other than a John Deere. You know why they use green?
Actually, I don't.
Because green matches the harvest.
There you go. Fields of green. Like it.
There it is. I'm really excited about the NIL deals they got coming up for Bama and for Florida. Mason Taylor for Bama.
Mason Taylor!
Emory Jones for Florida. Kelly
Hey!
There we go. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I think the Emory Jones NIL video before Florida is going to go viral. I will be very surprised if it doesn't. It's going to be awesome. It is not going to be. It is awesome. Sunequip.com. Sunequip.com. Got your zero-turn motors, your Gators. They got it. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Mattress Mack. Mattress Mack. Last year was pretty great, wasn't it? 75. He won a record. Mattress Mack last year won a record $75 million when the Astros won the World Series. If you're not familiar with what Mattress Mack does, he's a furniture. He owns Gallery Furniture in Houston, multiple stores in Texas. And essentially, he uses sports betting to hedge against a promotion that he does at his furniture store. So basically, what he'll say is, hey, come spend X amount in furniture at the store. If the Astros win the World Series, we'll refund 100% of your purchase. Well, as the hedge, he then goes and makes bets on the Astros or whatever the sports team is to win. So if the Astros win and he's got to refund all those purchases, well, he made all the money sports betting. Sometimes much more money sports betting. Like $75 million last year. Well, Mattress Mack this year made 4 bets on the Astros. He bet $1.9 million in spring training at plus 600. Then in September 15th, he put another $2 million at plus 600. And then later in September, the Astros were not doing so hot, and their odds went all the way down to plus 1,100. So he put another $1 million down at plus 1,100, meaning he would have won $11 million on that one bet. And then before the divisional series, he bet another $2 million at plus 450. So Mattress Mack laid out, he would have won, had the Astros won the World Series, he would have won $50.9 million had it hit. Not bad. You put up 7.9 to win 50.
That's good. I mean,
pretty good.
It's what, $25 million less than he won last year? Darn.
Pretty good. But he lost $7.9 million. Now, love to see those books there at Gallery Furniture. See how much furniture they moved here since spring training. But good on you, Mattress Mack. All around good dude. Great dude. I don't know why some people dislike Mattress Mack, or they cheer when he loses a bet or something like that. He's an all-time great dude. He's had decades of goodwill. And remember when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, he opened up those Gallery Furniture stores and told people, just come stay in our store. Sleep on the couch, sleep on the bed, just come on in. Anybody, if you're, just come on in. He's a great dude. And he's been on the show. And his brother played football at LSU.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
One of those Mackinvales. Played with Charles Alexander. Apparently, Mattress Mack's brother was a lunatic, too. Like, in a good way. But I don't know if there's a good way to be a lunatic.
I was about to say, that
you know
doesn't
what I mean?
make sense.
Just a crazy football, crazy guy football player.
He's a football guy.
Yeah,
football guy.
Football guy
football
from the
guy.
70s. Football guy from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway. All right. One of those bets that Mattress Mack made was at DraftKings. Wonder if Mattress Mack's going to get in on the action at DraftKings, try to win some of that money back. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, Mattress Mack, and use the promo code Baton Rouge. One word. Make a $5 bet, Mattress Mack. Even you, Mattress Mack, make a $5 bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly, Mattress Mack. That'll lessen the blow of losing $7.9 million, I guarantee it. It's free money. It is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, basketball is back. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Make a $5 NBA bet, and they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Win or lose, doesn't matter. For new customers, you'll start the season with an instant dub at the DraftKings Sportsbook when you use the promo code Baton Rouge and make a $5 bet on any NBA game or any NBA bet. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook only with the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, it is after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. As we mentioned, LSU, Brian Kelly met with reporters just a bit ago. A few things from Brian Kelly, and this is not particularly great news. This is actually really disappointing. Our friend Wilson Alexander over at The Advocate. Our friend Wilson Alexander. Oh, you don't have it? They can't hear you, Muse. It's radio.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I didn't really know if you wanted me to pop on with that. No, that has vanished. I do not see it. And I had that on a button, and now I don't know where it is.
Well, I guess you just have to do it then.
Yeah. Wilson! Was that good? Was that a good one?
Not really.
No.
But I like that you did it.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm not going to not do it.
I don't know. You've not done stuff like that before in the past. I think you're just feeling really good because your date is actually coming to fruition. We've secured transportation. We're checking it. Can we get a ding? Tickets? Transportation. Shout out 7-3 Distilling. They're going to provide the transportation. Probably a few cocktails on the way down for you and the future Mrs. Musa.
I would hope so.
Oh, yeah?
On that'd be appreciated.
Working on dinner.
Oh, well.
We're working on dinner.
Oops, yeah.
So any fine dining establishment in the greater New Orleans area that would like to host Muso and the future Mrs. Muso for dinner the night of the Aqua concert at the Fillmore, we'd love to have you as part of the promotion. Should we get a corsage? Is that still a thing?
No, we're not. No.
Yeah.
It's not prom. I mean, that's.
We could still bring her flowers. But flowers. Burke Harriman, we need flowers.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought we had that taken care of. Did we not?
I think you said for the wedding.
Oh, okay.
And then Gottlieb said they do the lights for the
wedding.
wedding.
Yeah. We'll keep them on standby. That's probably that's a ways away there. I mean.
I don't. Maybe it'll be love at first sight and you go elope, Muse. Could happen. It could happen.
But then I wouldn't need the lights and the flowers if I elope.
We could have them on standby.
Well, that's what I just said.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay. Zai Alexander and Mekhi Wingo, according to Brian Kelly, will, quote, miss some time. That is a bummer. Zai Alexander, I'm not surprised. Mekhi Wingo, we're going to wait to get a little more info there. Wingo might have to just make a decision if he wants to play through his injury or allow time to heal. But that is certainly disappointing that it looks like you might likely be going to Alabama here without Zai Alexander and Mekhi Wingo. So we'll see. Denver Harrison, Deuce Chestnut not practicing. I don't think that should be any great surprise to anybody right now. But Ashton Stamps is back from injury. Those are the notes pointed out by Wilson Alexander from Brian Kelly's media availability just a bit ago. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Otters coming up for little Otter Locks. You got two. Do we have two or three? We have two college football games tonight. Two college football games tonight. You got Game 7 of the NLCS tonight. The NBA tips off tonight. You got NHL tonight. A smorgasbord from which the Otter will choose for our Otter Locks tonight. That's next here as we wrap up a Tuesday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Pretty cool when you drive down I-10, you see the big 3D billboard with the giant Gordon standing on a truck. Got a big pumpkin on his head now if you haven't seen it. A while back, they had a football helmet. Now it's a giant pumpkin. You can't miss it. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Call 888-8888, 888-8888, all them eights for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. More than 75,000 cases. Think about that number. 75,000 cases, and they've recovered more than $2 billion in damages for their clients. If you've been injured, you need representation. Don't go it alone. Trust the professionals at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Also, check out gordongives.com. Enter to win one of those autographed footballs by members of the G team. Getgordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
We have truckloads of inventory rolling in at Corbell Toyota in Opelousas. And you can take advantage of 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corbell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good, brother. How about you?
Doing well. So a no-go on the parlay last night, but the Vikings +7 hit. And the under hit last night. So a 2-1 night last night for those that were playing along. And, man, Otter, a smorgasbord. 2 college football games. You got the NLCS Game 7, NBA tip-off tonight, NHL action. Where are we going tonight?
Did you take? Were What's his Scherzer under last night?
I did not. Oh, my goodness. I didn't think we ever really zeroed in because I think you'd said 15.5, and I looked live, and it was 13.5, which still would have hit.
With both pitchers tonight. I mean, everybody is available minus yesterday's starters. So it's probably going to be a quick hook to get tonight. Also, the Phillies, though, have to go with Suarez, but I would probably go with his under tonight.
Suarez is 10.5.
10.5. Yeah, I would go under on him. Colucci, this is an interesting night into hockey tonight. Yeah, every team playing. They started dropping the puck at 5 o'clock our time. The last one will go at 10 o'clock. No two games are starting at the same time. So 15 staggered games over 5 hours. He has Calgary, the Flames, coming off of a Sunday loss. They are, where is Calgary? Calgary, where are you at? Minus, I'm sorry.
They're plus 105, yeah.
Plus 105 on money line. The New Jersey Devils, where are those Devils?
New Jersey is minus 258.
Minus 258. And then he has the LA Kings at home, minus 185. So if you want to reduce the juice a little bit, you can money line those. You can split it up on the puck line also. So
1 minute remaining.
5 o'clock till 10 o'clock. One football game tonight. We're going Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky plus the 5 at home. Liberty's undefeated. They are rolling, the whole shebang. But this will be a tough assignment tonight on the road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Take the plus 5 with Western Kentucky at home.
All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow?
Tomorrow it snows, seafood and steak.
Awesome spot there in Gonzales. Otter, we appreciate it, man. Good luck tonight. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we got 5 plays tonight. Suarez under 10.5 outs, Western Kentucky plus 5, and then the 3-pack by Colucci there. Calgary, the Devils, and the Kings. Muse, Paulie, I appreciate you. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. I love when people go to Shawbills. Maybe you're leaking a little air in your tire, and you go to Shawbills, and you need your tire repaired, and they do that repair for you, and they just say, here's your keys. Thank you, no charge. And then people message me, and they go, that's crazy. They actually didn't charge me for that. That's because they just believe in treating people right, and free tire repairs is part of what they do over at Shawbills. Of course, if you need tires, they'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. It's ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. And if your vehicle isn't working right, engine diagnostics, that could be the perfect starting place to restore optimal performance. So visit ShawBillsTire.com to learn more about engine diagnostics and how they can help over at Shawbills. That's ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com, 17 locations. Find the location nearest you. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.